A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
This is Nightline, your open door to people and places, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Nightline invites you to listen in on NBC's award-winning science fiction series X-1.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, Target 1. But first, hear this. The presents have been opened, the gifts enjoyed, and in the case of the kids, a few are already slightly battered. But NBC has one more holiday package for you, and it'll be delivered over this weekend on Monitor. There'll be the music of such bands as those of Guy Lombardo and Richard Maltby, punctuated by the antic commentary of Monitor's own Bob and Ray and Fibber McGee and Molly, and underscored by the up-to-the-minute reports of NBC's newsmen at home and abroad. From Friday night through Sunday midnight, Monitor will bring you another weekend of drama, music, news, and interviews. Of special interest to sports fans will be NBC's coverage of the Friday night fights, Saturday's blue-gray and north-south football games, and Sunday's National Football League championship game. Use and enjoy Monitor, your weekend radio service. Yes, start your weekend right with Monitor on Friday nights, and stay with Monitor all weekend long over most of these same NBC stations. Now, X-1 and tonight's story, Target 1.
Headquarters of the World Council was in the ruined United Nations building in New York. It took me an hour to reach it, picking my way across the red-colored rubble that had once been a proud city. I was ushered into the office of the president of the council, a former Russian scientist named Melkov. It was hard to realize that only a few decades ago, these people had helped us destroy the world in an atomic war that left less than 100,000 people on the face of the globe.
Come in. Dr. Marin.
Yes.
Good to see you, Doctor.
Sorry I'm 2 days late. I had to land at Boston. It's the only airport operating.
I understand. You want to sit down?
Thank you.
I suppose you are wondering what this is all about.
Very little surprises me, Mr. President.
Good. As you know, Doctor, the Great War of 1960 left very little of the human race. What it did leave, well, 2 billion corpses, 3 continents rotting and unlivable, and every survivor mutating. I believe you yourself have had children who could scarcely be called human. I'm sorry to be so blunt.
Why did you send for me, Mr. President?
Doctor, suppose I gave you an opportunity to do something extremely practical.
Such as?
A chance to prevent the destruction of our world, which took place 30 years ago.
To prevent what has happened? To stop an atomic war?
Yes. Would you do it?
I'd sell my soul to the devil, Mr. President.
You mean that?
Yes.
Doctor, what would you say was the most important scientific discovery of the 20th century?
I suppose Einstein's equation. E equals mc squared.
Exactly. This formula unlocked the atom. Without it, there would have been no atomic energy, and consequently, no bomb, no war.
The formula did not cause the war, Mr. President, nor did the man who discovered it. He was one of the finest human beings who ever lived. A man utterly dedicated to the pursuit of peace and harmony.
Yes, exactly. That is what will make your task so abhorrent, Doctor.
What is this task, Mr. President?
Quite simply, it is the murder of Albert Einstein.
Are you insane?
Perhaps. Only history will record that.
But how in the name of heaven Albert Einstein died in 1956?
I am well aware of that. In order to commit this murder, Doctor, you will have to travel back in time.
Travel back? You mean that...
I mean that our scientists have succeeded in their experiments. Parachronon penetration has been achieved.
It's fantastic.
Yes, so were atomic energy and rockets to the moon and radio waves long before both of those.
You're actually suggesting that I return to the early 20th century to commit a murder?
Yes.
But why Einstein? Why not the men who took his contributions and twisted them into ghastly inhuman weapons? Why not them?
Because others would replace them. There are many minds so filled with contempt for their own lives that they would be willing to destroy others, so warped with hate that they might even enjoy the job. No, it must be Einstein.
Well, then why me? Why not select some murderer, some fiend?
Because you are a man of the highest morality. This task must not be performed by some twisted monster. It must be done by a man of integrity who fully realizes his responsibility. To do otherwise would be to degrade ourselves and our victim. Come here, to the window. Do you see that covered barge lying in the East River?
Yes.
That barge is the finest laboratory we could assemble. Inside it is the mechanism for complete K-meson penetration, maintaining a stable configuration. In effect, it is a floating time machine.
You've tested it?
It was tested last week. Professor Milton Waxman went back 40 years in time and returned. We cannot afford another test because our energy sources are limited.
Will Waxman accompany me?
Yes. He and one other. Well, Doctor, what is your answer?
All right. I'll do it. That afternoon, I was taken aboard the barge in the East River. I was left alone in the laboratory to wait for Waxman, a physicist who knew how to operate the chronosphere. Waxman, who is this?
His name is John. John, this is Dr. Charles Moran.
I know the doctor.
I don't believe we've met.
In my business, I have to know a lot of people I've never met.
John is security.
I see.
He's going with us.
To see there's no mistake.
That's right, Doctor.
Very well. I don't suppose murderers can be choosy about their companions.
Before we go any further, here are some clothes that will be suitable to the time and place which is our destination. Please put them on, Doctor.
While you're changing, I'll give you some background on the subject. Born Ulm, Germany, 1879. German citizen, religion Jewish. Became a Swiss citizen after graduation from Zurich Polytechnical Institution.
Later migrated to the United States after Adolf Hitler came to power, with a price set on his head by the Nazis. Nobel Prize for Physics, 1921. Copley Medal, 1925. Franklin, 1935. Personal habits.
Must we do this?
He's only doing his job. Go on, John.
Personal habits. Works in a bare room with only a pencil and paper. Enjoys sailing, smokes a pipe, never drinks, is a violinist of conservability.
All right, I'm ready.
Good. Now just strap yourself into the accelerator seat. Ready? Switch on. The sensation will be something akin to weightlessness, a disorientation and feeling of utter detachment. This will last until we have settled into a new orbital configuration. We will be able to monitor our time segment on the screen before us.
May I ask our objective?
Yes. The Polytechnicum at Zurich. Graduation ceremony in the year 1900.
So young.
He was already formulating the theory of relativity at this point, Doctor. We have no choice. It must be clean and thorough. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Ready, Professor.
Hold on. We will begin to whirl until we reach speeds where K-meson penetration is possible. Now.
The sensation was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. I felt bodiless, weightless. My consciousness seemed to float free. I was dimly aware of Waxman at the monitoring controls, but otherwise I remember no sensation. Later he told me that it took exactly 1/2 hour to vector in on the right time and place. That was right after the whirling stopped.
Marin, are you all right?
Yes, I think so.
John?
I'm all right.
Where are we?
According to the monitor, our barge is at a dockside on the Lake of Zurich. The year should be 1900. The time is 2 o'clock. We have exactly 1 hour to accomplish our mission. Open the hatchway, John. Well?
Fantastic. A different world.
We can't waste any time. The graduation ceremony is at 3. Now let's go.
Very well.
Just a moment, gentlemen. Here, take these.
What are they?
Guns. We'll need them.
We stepped ashore. It was strange to see the world green and happy again after our red radioactive ruins. Eventually, we located a policeman who spoke some English. He directed us to the auditorium of the Zurich Polytechnical Institute where the graduation ceremony was in progress.
Don't attract much attention. Take a seat in the rear.
And now, it gives me great pleasure to present the diplomas of graduation to the members of the graduating class of the Zurich Polytechnic Institute. First, Mr. Hans Kindler, cum laude.
Do you see him, John?
Not yet.
Next, Mr. Fritz.
We will have to wait until they call him to the platform.
Cum laude. Mr. Heinrich Weiss, valedictor.
Are you ready? Marin, you're the one who must do this. Are you ready?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am. I'm ready.
Mr. Albert Einstein.
That's him. Marin, shoot. Shoot.
I can't do it. I can't.
Give me that gun. Come on. We've got to get out of the barge. Now, hurry. Another few minutes.
What do you suppose it will be like?
What?
Our world, the one we left. Without atomic fission, I mean.
We'll soon know.
Well, one thing is for sure. There'll be no mass destruction. The people will be there.
The people. Good Lord, there'll be billions of them.
And the trees, the green shrubs, and the beautiful tall buildings. He looked very young.
We're vectoring in on our year. Now hang on when I start the negative penetration. Brace yourselves. According to calculations, we should be back in the East River on the same day we left. The world will be as it would have been if Einstein had never existed. Open the hatch, John.
Look at that. The city. New York is whole again. No ruins. No rubble.
Those buildings are magnificent. Look at the trees in the parks. Marlin, we've done it. It was worth it. We've done it.
Yes. We've done it. Suddenly, from nowhere, an official boat, a police boat. Suspicious of the barge and our parachronon penetration equipment, we were arrested by federal agents. The barge and our time machines confiscated. We were drugged, tortured, questioned interminably. It went on for what seemed like days and weeks. Finally, when they decided that they had had every shred of information we possessed, we were taken before a huge, beetle-browed man who seemed to be a combination scientist and civil authority.
Sit him down. Well, Dr. Marin, we seem to have exhausted the possibilities. Tell me, is there anything you and your companions wish to tell me before you're disposed of?
Disposed of?
A euphemism for murdered.
Murdered? Why, what have we done?
You haven't done anything yet, but you have a thorough knowledge of nuclear physics, fission reaction, hydrogen bombs, etc.
Lord, you mean you have the knowledge we tried to keep from you? You got it from us ourselves?
Don't flatter yourself, Doctor. We've known the principles of nuclear reaction ever since Cretchwood.
Cretchwood?
The Brazilian scientist, discoverer of the equation E=mc².
I see. Then why are you going to destroy us?
Because, my friend, you're too dangerous. You know too much. Information could leak to our enemies. Important principles.
Enemies?
Oh, yes, I forgot. You have no knowledge of contemporary affairs. Beneath this building, deep in the earth, there is a thorium pile going.
Thorium? Oh, U-235?
Yeah, would be better, yes. Our scientists are working that out. The problem of separation and so on. It's a highly secret project, naturally. We call it only by the name Manhattan Project.
Manhattan? Oh, no, it couldn't be. It's too coincidental. Yet I see it's true. You're going through exactly the same steps. In a year, you'll have an atom bomb. Then soon after, a hydrogen bomb. Then intercontinental missiles, and then...
You seem to have great powers of prophecy, as well as great scientific knowledge.
My friend, did you ever hear of a man named Einstein? Albert Einstein?
Einstein? No. I never heard of him.
Then the futility of it struck me. The futility of trying to place the guilt of all of us on any one man. The futility of trying to do something worthwhile by evil means. And finally, the futility of trying to murder an idea. As they led me to the execution cell, where I now wait, the words of a man whose books were destroyed in the war rang in my brain. The fault, dear Brutus, lies not with our stars, but with ourselves.
Fred Collins again. I'll have another word about X-1 in just a moment.
Right how you feel, blue and miserable with a deep-down cold? Listen.
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold. Millions more take bromoquinine. Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold. Bromoquinine.
More people have taken more bromoquinine cold tablets for more complete relief than any other cold tablet ever sold. You could use aspirin or cough syrups or nose drops all day and not get bromoquinine's relief. Bromoquinine works to relieve stopped-up nose, body aches, fever, irregularity, the blues, and headache, too. Yes, more complete relief for even virus colds. For bromoquinine is the only cold tablet sold with wonder-working quinine and 5 other medicines health fortified with vitamin C. Remember,
every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold. Millions more take bromoquinine.
get bromoquinine brand cold tablets.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Kill Me with Kindness by Richard Wilson. What would you do if you found yourself in a place where your every whim was granted? Don't worry. You wouldn't be the first to spoil utopia by attempting to improve it. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Target 1, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Frederick Pohl and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in our cast were Joseph Bell as Dr. Marin, Frank Silvera as President Malkov, Dean Almquist as Professor Voxman, Al Collins as Jom, Guy Rep as the official, with Charles Webster. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by George Boutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
On the magic island of Euclidia, the Gregory party is learning more of the wonders of the place and learning them very rapidly. When their boat was pulled to the pier by magnetism, Mrs. Gregory and her daughter Joan, Captain Bradford, and Jerry Hall found no one to greet them. They know the Euclidean scientists expect their landing. It's very puzzling as they walk across the island, enter one of the automatic elevators, and descend to various levels, searching for G-47 or one of his assistants. The mystery deepens as their elevator passes the 10th level, 100 feet below the surface of the sea and supposed to be the lowest level on the island. The elevator does not stop there, however, and we find them now 50 feet below the bottom of the island, 150 feet below the surface of the water, and still going down.
Oh, gee whiz, Joan. How far down does this elevator go?
I do not know, Jerry. I have only heard vague rumors of the Euclidean city below the ocean floor.
But, Joan, you said something about modern Atlantis. Surely you don't believe there's a lost continent under us.
Well, why not, Pat? The only people who refuse to believe the story of Atlantis are the same kind of people who said automobiles wouldn't run and airships wouldn't fly.
But, why, it's tremendous, Tex.
Yes, it's that all right.
Well, Joan's lived on this island 14 years. I should think she'd know more about this.
G-47 and his men have not told me everything about Euclidia. I think we may see things of which I have never dreamed.
Well, the only time I ever did see this kind of stuff is when I was dreaming.
This elevator keeps going down. We must be nearly 100 feet below what we believe to be the foundation of the island. And yet we go down. Down into what?
Well, whatever it is, it's been made by man. If these Euclideans can stand it, I guess we can.
I am as greatly surprised as you are, Captain Bradford. My knowledge of Euclidia will be useless here.
Well, whatever's going to happen to us, I wish it would happen quick. I'm getting tired going all in one direction in an elevator.
We stopped. No, we started again.
Something wrong here. We're tipping over.
Hey, quit pushing me.
But I am not pushing you, Jerry.
Tex, we're falling.
Hold steady. I think it's going to be all right.
What's going on here? We're almost over on our side. This blame elevator is lying down flat. And it still goes.
Perhaps we are now traversing a horizontal passage.
Joan, dear, you think this elevator is traveling along a tunnel almost flat on its side?
It is obvious, is it not?
Well, golly whiskers. When their elevators are going to run like this, I wish somebody'd tell me so I could get on top. I'm all squashed.
Well, it is a little uncomfortable, Jerry, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, it's swell for you. You're on top. But I'm getting all the wind knocked out of me.
I think our position is changing again.
Why? Hope we don't have to stand on our heads.
No, Jerry, we're tipping back to an upright position.
Queer things, these Euclidean elevators.
Much too queer for me.
Me too. I like my elevators running up and down.
Is it not logical to have them also run horizontally?
Yes, dear, it's probably logical, but it's also upsetting.
We seem to be almost on even keel again now.
Yeah, I can tell that. I can get my breath.
But how long is this weird ride going to continue?
I have no way of determining that.
We're going at a terrific speed now. Wherever we're going, it shouldn't take us long to get there.
Have you any idea as to our direction?
Not the slightest.
We're going down.
Of course, Jerry, we all know that. What Mother meant was our direction from the center of the island during our progress along a level plain.
I wouldn't know.
We just passed another control of some type.
I hope we don't start upside down now.
We are stationary.
What?
Huh?
Joan's right. We've stopped moving.
Why, so we have.
Then I'll bet it won't be long until something else happens to us.
That is probably correct.
Oh, I know it is. These Euclideans don't let much time go by without trying one of their tricks on you.
Well, we've evidently arrived at our destination.
Right, let's get out.
Do not open that door, Captain.
Why not?
I do not know why you should not. But it is well to remember that when the Euclideans wish you to pass through a door, that door is opened for you.
You mean we just stand here in this little steel coop until somebody lets us out?
Precisely.
It may be safer, as Joan suggests.
No doubt of that, but I hope they don't keep us in here too long. I'd like to know where we are.
Well, we're somewhere near the Magic Island. You can sure tell when these Euclideans are running things. Everything always happens so you can't figure it out.
I think I'll take a chance and open this door.
I wish you would not, Captain.
Oh, please, Tex. If Joan is worried about it, surely we can spare the few minutes it may take for someone to come and let us out.
All right, Pat.
Yeah, maybe take a few hours if they don't want to see us right away.
The door is opening now.
Yes, look. The door is opening, and no one is touching it.
Well, that's merely the usual procedure around here.
Well, I'll say it is. After a few weeks in this island, you get too lazy to open doors for yourself.
This one is certainly opening without human aid, and I think it's time for us to leave.
Yes, let's get out before this thing decides to take us back up to the surface.
Huh? Say, this looks just like those passageways up in the island.
The construction is obviously the same. We are in a corridor of the transparent steel.
And I suppose that on either side of us someone is watching through those walls.
Probably.
Well, they can't hurt us any by watching. Well, which way do we go?
You know as much about it as I do, kid.
I think we should proceed as we are going.
Okay, Joan. Straight ahead.
This series of hallways seems to stretch endlessly in all directions.
Hey, that noiseless paint again.
Right, Jerry. Our footsteps don't make a sound.
Apparently, the Euclidean devices are much the same here as on the surface. What is it called, Joan?
I have heard it referred to as a modern Atlantis, but the actual designation is Euclidia.
Oh, the same name as the island, huh?
Obviously.
You're not very certain about things down here, are you, Joan?
I am not, Captain. This is my first visit, and I heard it discussed but little.
Well, it's a mighty big place, if our walking means anything.
We can't even depend on that, Jerry. For all we know, we're walking in a circle.
That is possible.
Well, even a circle will bring you back to your starting point. We'd better off at that elevator, and we are wandering around an endless hall.
Well, this is a fine thing. Here we come 4,000 miles to see people that we know want to see us, and when we get here, we can't find anybody.
It is indeed strange, Jerry, but I think it is being deliberately done, probably to impress us with G-47's complete contempt for us.
I'm sure of that. It doesn't require any more demonstrations to make me feel absolutely helpless when I'm around this weird place. How long do you think we should keep up this aimless walking, Tex? Tex? Why, Tex!
Golly, Whiskers!
The captain is gone.
But where?
No place.
But he's gone, Jerry.
Well, I mean, there's no place he could have gone.
Joan, dear, what does this mean? What's happened?
I do not know, Mother.
Tex was walking right along here with us a minute ago.
He was beside me, or at least I thought he was, and then I spoke to him. And when I turned, he wasn't there.
Well, let's stand still a minute and try to figure this out.
Well, let's do something.
Do not allow yourself to become excited, Mother.
Excited when a man was walking at my side suddenly disappears?
Joan means it won't do any good to get excited. We'll figure this out. We'll just keep cool like I am. And...
You must be very cool, Jerry. You are shaking as if you had a chill.
Yeah, I was just, well, oh, golly.
We haven't passed a doorway he could have stepped into.
The captain would not have done that without telling us.
But he's gone, Joan.
Well, maybe turned off at one of those other hallways.
I think not. The captain was with us until long after we passed the last cross corridor.
Well, just the same, I'm going back and look for him.
Now, don't get too scared, Mrs. Gregory. These Euclideans do things like this to you all the time.
Nevertheless, I feel that Mother is right. We must retrace our steps and endeavor to discover what took place.
Oh, okay. Back we go.
It should be only a few steps. Oh!
Yeah. Oh, he's right.
Well, this is a solid metal wall.
And yet this is the way we came. There is no other way.
We reversed our direction, and the corridor is too narrow to permit a turn we didn't notice. Yet there's a solid steel panel tightly closed against us.
Then it slid into place without a sound, and I'll bet the captain is on the other side of it.
Do not attempt to call out to him, Mother.
But, Joan...
I know what is best under these circumstances. The captain was deliberately separated from this party. And we would be foolish to attempt to locate him.
You mean we should leave him there without trying to reach him?
I guess Joan's right, Mrs. Gregory. We'd only make fools of ourselves trying to see anything these Euclideans didn't want us to see. And they really might hurt us if we made them too mad.
Well, yes, I can see that, but
We will proceed along the corridor as we were doing.
Yeah. We sure can't do Ticks any good, and we'd better try to get somewhere.
Yes, but where?
Well, just anywhere except this hallway.
Jerry is wise, Mother. It is to our advantage to locate someone at once and receive some advice on our position.
Very well, Joan. Come on. It seems a terrible thing to leave Tex here somewhere and go on without him. But we couldn't do him any good if G47 doesn't want us to reach him.
I took Jerry through many experiences, even more terrifying than this. And we were not harmed, were we, Jerry? Jerry!
Stand still, Joan.
Jerry is gone!
Yes, and if we don't move from this spot, we may be able to see where he went.
I think not. There was no sound, no disturbance. Yet Jerry has vanished as completely as if he were in another world.
Yes, another world. Joan, we are in another world. A world that we don't understand. I'm going back and... Oh, that steel door wasn't more than a foot behind us.
And Jerry is undoubtedly behind that partition.
Well, I'm not going to stand for any more of this. They can come and put me in one of their cells if they want to. But I'm going to find out what's happening. Jerry! Jerry! Jerry!
Mother, please, that will do no good.
No, you're right. It won't do any good. Nothing does any good in this wild place. Oh, why doesn't someone come and take us? Take us to a cell. Take us before G47. Do anything with us to get us out of this awful uncertainty.
Come, Mother. We will proceed.
Proceeding into what?
That we will learn when the scientists are ready to have their wishes made known. We will walk rapidly and quietly.
Yes, we'll walk. Come on, Joan. We'll walk like this, putting one foot before the other, walking heavily on a steel floor, yet making no sound. And then one of us will be next, and one of us will be left alone to face what?
Be calm, Mother. Be calm.
Yes. Be calm while my world falls to pieces around me. Be calm while you're in danger. Hold tightly my hand, Joan. Oh, I'll never let them separate us. Hold tightly, Joan. Joan! Joan! Where are you, Joan?
Down in the depths of a strange underwater world, the little band of adventurers are having their troubles one at a time. When Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford, Jerry, and Joan started down inside the island of Euclidia in one of the automatic elevators, they didn't even dream of the sort of thing they would find. Carried down to a level which they believed to be about 200 feet below sea level, 100 feet below the foundation of the island, they set out to walk along one of the familiar corridors of polished steel. One by one, they disappear. Captain Bradford first, then Jerry, Joan next, and finally Mrs. Gregory. They are still separated. The first one we find is Jerry Hall. Jerry is seated in a small metal chair. A bright light shines into his eyes, and out of the blackness before him a strange voice speaks.
You will answer my questions, Hall?
Maybe, if I can.
You can, if you will.
Well, what are your questions?
Where is Captain Bradford?
I don't know.
Where is Cleostra?
Who?
Cleostra, the living symbol of the perfect calendar.
Oh, you mean Joan Gregory.
You will learn that on Euclidia we say precisely what we mean.
Precisely? That sure sounds familiar. Well, why don't you come out in the light where I can see you?
I will ask the questions here.
Well, then ask some I can answer.
Where is Cleostra?
I don't know.
Then where
I don't know.
I did not complete my interrogation.
Well, you didn't need to. You're going to ask me where Mrs. Gregory is, and I don't know. I don't know where any of the others are.
Do you know where you are?
Sure. I'm right here.
You are very foolish, Hall.
Well, I guess I am. Anybody's foolish that lets themselves get caught by a crazy bunch of guys like you've got on this island.
You are not on the island.
Well, under the island, then.
You are not under the island.
Well, maybe I am foolish. But we came down under the island, I'm sure of that.
Did you come down a true vertical course?
Oh, we come down a true... Oh, say, now look here. When you mean straight down, why don't you say straight down?
We of Euclidia do not speak in the jargon of your commonly mutilated variations of the English language.
Okay, I know a few big words myself. but I don't show off all the time by using them. Now, I don't know a thing you want to know. So why don't you let me go and find Mrs. Gregory and the rest of our bunch?
The word bunch is perhaps an adequate description of your ill-assorted expedition.
Well, our expedition was plenty good enough to find this island.
That was made very simple for you.
Oh, yeah, I know. Old G-47 wanted to see the captain and try to get something he's got. But we escaped from this island, didn't we?
Are you not here now?
Now, look here. You haven't asked me a question that you don't know the answer to better than I do. And there's no sense in my trying to answer any more of them.
I am thoroughly convinced there would be no intelligence displayed in anything you might be a part of. That is all.
Oh, can I go now? I said, can I go now? Okay. I can sit here as long as you can. Hey, don't turn that light out. Well, I'm not afraid of the dark. Well, why don't you go on talking? I wonder if... Yeah. That's it. I'm alone. But Guy's gone.
Jerry, is that you, Jerry?
Yeah, this is Jerry. Where are you, Tex?
I'm right here. Where are you?
Well, I'm right here.
At least we're in the same room, I think.
Well, I don't like to do much moving around in the dark in these places.
Well, neither do I, but it can't be helped. Now, you stay where you are and keep talking. I'll try to come to your voice. Tell me, what happened to Pat and Joan?
Well, same thing has happened to us, I suppose.
Well, you suddenly pulled into an open steel panel?
Well, I sure was. Just a minute or two after you disappeared.
Well, I disappeared the same way.
Hey, somebody grabbed my arm. Let go.
Steady, Jerry. I've got hold of your arm.
Oh, golly whiskers. You never know what's liable to happen to you in this place.
What about Pat and Joan?
Well, I don't know. They were together when I got lifted off my feet and jerked into a little room.
Then you were brought in here for questioning?
Yeah. That fellow Thales, it sounded like. But I couldn't be sure. He talked a lot like old G-47.
Yeah, we've heard him talk in other ways, too. Well, I've been questioned just as you have. And I was honored by having G-47 himself work on me.
Ooh. What did he have to say?
Nothing. He wanted me to do all the talking, and I didn't say any more than he did.
Well, that must have been a noisy meeting.
Well, not very. However, there's no use in our trying to hide our purposes from these Euclideans, Jerry. And no use fooling ourselves. They know we've come here to try and do something about this island, because we're afraid of what they may do to the world if they're left alone.
Well, what do you think they're going to do to us?
Nothing, for the time being.
I hope Joan and Mrs. Gregory are all right.
No, if there were some lights in this place, we'd try to find them.
Gee, lights. They came on just as you said lights.
We're being watched, and overheard, of course.
Well, I like the light. I don't care who's looking at it.
This room seems to have been designed for just such a purpose as this. Nothing in it but these straight steel chairs.
Well, where are we? Do you know exactly?
No, except that we're somewhere under the floor of the ocean and not far from the surface location of the island.
Is this where we're supposed to stay?
No telling, kid. I'm just as much in the dark as you are.
Jerry! Captain Bradford!
Hello, Joan.
I have been feeling my way along cold steel walls until I felt a panel open before me. And I am so glad to see you.
Well, we're glad to see you, too, Joan. Where's your mother?
I do not know. I was taken from her side as quickly and noiselessly as were you and Jerry. I have not seen her since.
Sure a lot of mysterious junk around here. Did one of the Euclideans ask you questions, Joan?
Yes. I was blinded by a strong light focused directly into my eyes, while my interrogator remained in total darkness. But I believe it was Thales.
The same guy who worked on me.
And what was your experience, Captain Bradford?
About the same as yours and Jerry's, except that I was questioned by G-47. Such things as what were we doing here, and why had we come, and what would we attempt to do now that we were here.
The interviews must have been practically identical, then.
Joan, dear.
Hey, it's Mrs. Gregory.
We're all safe, Mother.
I'm so glad, Joan, dear, and Jerry and Tex. What happened to you?
Same as happened to you, I expect. A dark room, questions, then silence, and you were alone.
Yes, Tex. How did you know?
Well, it's just happened to all of us.
Oh, thank heavens we're together again. And I hope we can stay together.
The lights. They're going out.
Now what's coming?
Now, take it easy till we find out. Everyone stand still. Hold each other's hands. Give me your hand, Jerry.
Right, Tex. There it is.
Mother, give me your hand.
I will, when I can find yours in the dark. There, dear.
Now, Pat, your hand. That's right. And whatever you do, don't let go. Any of you.
Well, what do you expect?
Anything. But whatever happens, let's keep from being separated as long as we can.
So, we are all together.
G-47.
Precisely.
What's the idea of the black magic, G-47? You can do just about as you wish with us here. Why put on this cheap show?
My dear Captain, you will learn to entertain a greater respect for me before you see the outside world again.
Just where are we now?
You are in Euclidia.
That might mean anything.
It might indeed. Now, you will answer some questions.
What a gain.
Mrs. Gregory, what do you hope to gain by this visit to Euclidia?
Hey, that's not G47.
It is Thales, I believe.
Where is your formula, Captain Bradford?
My formula is safe from you.
What were the materials you brought on your boat?
What experiments did you hope to conduct here?
The compounding of that formula by anyone except a scientist of Euclidia will seal your fate.
Tex, just what I thought. We're only safe until they can force you to give up that formula.
They'll never do that.
Never. It is a longer period of time than any human is allowed to hold a secret.
We will never give this up, G47.
You are very foolish to ally yourself with this hopeless cause, Cleostra.
Now, wait a minute, you two. I'm not a bit frightened by these third-degree methods. I can talk and reason as well in the dark as you can. I'm the only one of this group who knows my formula. The only one in the world. And the only written copy of the formula I destroyed when we were in Los Angeles. You can't browbeat any secrets out of the others, and you'll never get them from me.
Good for you, Tex.
We all feel the same way.
Very heroic. However, your sweeping gestures have the weakness of all heroics. They have no value in the face of fact.
But the formula is a fact, and my having it a fact.
And is it not a fact that you would surrender the formula before you would allow harm to come to any of these others?
Well?
No, Captain. We are able to undertake anything with you.
Yes, Joan, dear. But the four of us mean very little when the safety of the world is at stake.
Do you think you four weak fools are of any value in the world?
Well, as long as we can keep guys like you from running wild and upsetting all our countries, we're plenty of good to the world. And that's more than you are.
We of Euclidia have knowledge that is priceless to your elementary world.
That depends on your senses of values. We're going to do everything within our power to see that your vast scientific knowledge is not used to harm the world.
No, never mind, Pat. We're only wasting our breath. Let's just let them talk, and when the time comes, we'll find a way to do the right thing.
Does anyone in your world ever do the right thing?
Hey, listen. That's the signal to submerge the island.
That means we will not see the daylight for some time.
The island is being submerged completely and will remain so until we have that formula.
Well, we can stand it down here if you can.
And in the meantime, there are warships from every nation in the world ready to come to this position and attack the island if we do not return within a specified time.
That is interesting indeed. For those warships, we'll find only the crater of an extinct volcano.
A volcano? Under the water?
So that's where you got the foundation of the island.
Precisely.
The island was built in the crater of a volcano, and that made your excavations easy. Gives you plenty of space under the ocean floor.
Several millions of cubic feet.
Millions of cubic feet? In what?
In Euclidia, where this room is located, where you are now more than 200 feet below the surface of the water. And this is the highest level of the city.
City? I told you, Mother, I thought there was a city here.
When will you let us see this place?
You will be free to explore it at your pleasure tomorrow. It is not necessary to warn you that escape is hopeless.
No, we can see that for ourselves. Anyway, we didn't come here this time to try and escape.
You may go to your quarters when you so desire.
And I suppose we've got to walk around here in the dark and fall over a lot of steel chairs trying to find a door. Hey!
You're wrong, Jerry. There's plenty of light now.
G47.
And Thales.
They are gone.
Golly, gone without a sound. And they were both right here in front of us.
Don't let that bother you. We're going to have a lot of things more serious than disappearing tricks to contend with.
Yes, our position is serious now, Tex.
We cannot escape as we did from the island.
No, they're not kidding about that. We're 200 feet below the ocean.
200 feet. Under the water. It might as well be 200 miles.
The program you are about to hear is fiction, science fiction. We make no guarantees, however, how long it will remain fiction.
Exploring tomorrow. these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
Dreams are a remarkable thing, a remarkable power of the human mind. Freud, the psychoanalytical school, has held very important. But there's one aspect of dreaming that they deny, they overlook, perhaps. That's tonight's story. If someone handed you a photograph of a man's face and said, do you know who this is? Suppose that was a photograph of yourself 20 years from now. You'd have an awful hard time recognizing that. We can recognize a picture of something that we have seen. It's impossible to recognize something that we haven't yet seen. Let's say we have a patient who comes into a analyst's office, a badly frightened man.
Dr. Sharp, my name's Jim Bedford. I got your name from the National Health Trust. They say you're the quick shock analyst they'd recommend in this area.
It's nice of the Health Trust to say that. It builds up my morale in these troubled post-war times.
It speaks very highly of you. I feel so darn silly running to a psychiatrist. That's for old ladies. Maybe we better forget it. I've got a lot of pressing work that I really should be taking care of.
Let's see, Mr. Bedford. Now, according to the data you gave my secretary, you're with the State War Reclaim Bureau.
Yes, that's right. I'm regional director. I've been with the Bureau all my adult life since 1971. Since the Doom War.
It must be rewarding work watching the radioactive ash cleared away, houses and stores springing up again after so many decades, seeing the city itself come back from the rubble, knowing you could take a good share of the credit.
That's going to be a long task, another generation.
Sit down and you tell me about it.
No couch? I thought all you psychoanalysts had couches. This office building was lucky to escape being hit.
Yes, it's one of the few pre-war buildings left in this part of Sacramento. Matter of fact, it was your War Reclaim Bureau that loaned my family the money to rebuild.
Doctor, why is this happening to me? What am I going to do? I have to stay at my job. Nobody else can do it. Nobody else knows this area the way I do. Nobody knows the people here the way I do.
You were born here, William?
Yes, I've lived in Sacramento all my life.
What is it that's bothering you?
I have some kind of hallucination, and it keeps getting worse. I've tried to shake it, but it comes back bigger and stronger. Now it's getting so that I can't work. I can't do my job.
I'm starting up recall-inducing equipment, Mr. Bedford. It'll put you in a state of semi-sleep for a few moments. I'd like you to tell me what this hallucination is. Then maybe I can tell you why you have it. And maybe help you deal with it.
Damage inventories. Must be 1 million of them stuck in the basket today alone. Oh, I ought to quit and go to bed, get some sleep. Where's the report on that mutant rat they've been killing? One that spins webs. Better okay the extermination program. Poisoned grain probably be best if it eats grain. Probably have to ask for federal aid. Not enough funds to do the job right. Oh, I'll okay the extermination and hope they can raise the funds. Bad enough to have ordinary rodent infestation. Plague carriers, the worst possible sanitation menace.
Menace? Huh?
Oh, it's you, Giller. How did you get into my apartment?
Front door was unlocked. I'm sorry to interrupt your work.
Well, I was about to stop. What time is it? Past midnight. You want a beer? I'm going to have one.
Siphoning valuable grain off to make beer in these times of need. Must be nice to be a big wheel and have luxuries. Your own stove, refrigerator. You know, I haven't had beer since last May.
You'll survive. You've always managed to. Trade some of that black market coffee of yours or some of those eggs from your chickens.
You know, we lost all our chickens. That blood disease from the old H-bomb blast. Take a look at this.
Your application for aid?
Turned down.
I know.
Why?
Don't ask me why. Oh, okay. I'm the responsible person. I turned it down.
You and I have been friends since we were kids.
So what?
You get a kick out of it, lording it over the people you've known. People who were something in the community before the Doom War.
People you had to look up to and say sir to.
I'm sorry about your poultry farm. I'm sorry for all the poultry raisers, you included, and the beef raisers and the walnut growers, but certain things have to be rebuilt before others. Heavy industry comes first. Factories, steel and cement and fuel producers, synthetic fabric.
We're your people.
Good night, Giller. Write me a letter on the proper form.
I'll talk to you in a few days about my application for aid. Maybe you'll change your mind. Come around.
Giller ever got that farm going, he'd be the biggest black market operator in California. $5 a piece for grade A eggs, and he knows where to get it. Everybody trying to swing a deal, make money, cash in on people's hunger. I wonder if he's really gone, or if he's hanging around outside. People like him get on my nerves. I better go see. Make sure. A dream of falling tends to indicate that the patient has some kind of fear, of a basic insecurity, a feeling that he's faced with a problem that he must solve and can't solve. But he's got to solve it, but he can't solve it, but it must be solved. Mr. Bedford.
I'm falling. Help me, I'm falling!
No, you're not. You're here in my office, sitting in a chair. Yes. But I was falling. I started to go out of my apartment. I opened the door to the hall, and there wasn't any floor under my feet, just emptiness. And I tried to grab hold of something, and there wasn't anything, nothing at all, anywhere. Just darkness. What happened next? Were you hurt? Doctor, how could I have been hurt? It was just in my mind. Maybe I stumbled or something, but I didn't fall because there was no place to fall. Momentary dizziness from overwork, fatigue. Yes, maybe. And since then, you've had a fear of falling. A phobia. Phobia about high places. Okay, Mr. Bedford, let's try another recall. Now, this time, I want you to remember more about the falling and your friend Giller.
Oh! Stop it! Don't kill me! Don't throw me over the rail, please!
Shut up! Well, you probably think I'm going to give you one last chance before we toss you off this ramp.
It's not my fault. I tried to get funds. Bureau's short on funds. Terrible task ahead. He can't hear you.
Bedford, I came to you and begged you to okay our application, but you turned us down. You did all you could to block it.
Black market rebel? Police never seem to get you all. Probably bought off.
That's right, bought off. Now, look, Bedford, for old time's sake, you want to get in on this along with us. I'll let you in. I have a sentimental feeling towards you. I think you sincerely felt you shouldn't okay our application.
I never will. Even if you kill me.
Oh, you mean that?
I got my job, responsibility. Heavy industry comes first.
Remember when there were eggs, how the shells looked when they were dropped? Remember how it felt to crush the eggshell underfoot? How did that old nursery rhyme go about putting the pieces of the shell back together? By the way, Bedford, we're making sure the next regional director isn't so devoted to heavy industry. We're getting in somebody with, shall we say, an agricultural frame of mind?
Okay, let's finish this up and get going. Get him over the rail. It's almost a mile to the ground. How could a thing like this happen to me and be forgotten? Can a person forget being knocked down, kicked, and threatened with death? It wasn't forgotten. It remained buried beneath, repressed. We'll have to try some more recall, Mr. Bedford. So far, I don't have enough to go on. Now, this business of Giller and his men beating and terrorizing you provides what's called the traumatic incident. The moment of fear that starts the chain reaction of repression going. But, are you willing to try another recall? Not now, Doctor. You shouldn't stop at this point. I couldn't stand anymore. Tomorrow, maybe. We'd better go on now, Mr. Bedford. Now, from what you recall, I got an impression that there's no time to waste. I don't think they just beat you up and threatened you. I think they did throw you over the rail to your death. I think they killed you. All right, Doctor. I'll let you start your recall-inducing gadget again, but don't make me go back to that moment. Something else. I couldn't stand to see them standing there above me. Higher and higher, and then the ramp and the railing disappearing. This time, I'd like you to think of something pleasant, satisfying. Perhaps a day in your work when you were particularly pleased with what you accomplished. The public baths. Kids splashing around, lots of hot water. Wonder how many of us would be dead by now. Dead from contamination from the perpetual fallout if we hadn't built those huge pools and fountains over there. It's the hardest decision I ever made. I felt like a lunatic, giving them the go-ahead. A lot of people were angry about that. But after I saw the figures from the Anti-Radiation Committee, it had to be done. No matter how many people got angry. I know my duty. It's to the whole people, not a few special groups here and there. You say you okayed the building of mass public baths, and you actually stood and watched the people bathing. That's right. Togas, like ancient times. Mr. Bedford, I want you to listen to me carefully. I have something important to say to you. What's wrong, Doctor? Well, as a licensed general practitioner, I've been interested in the idea of public baths as an anti-radiation measure. In my opinion, it's a sound idea. But the proposal hasn't yet been put through. No baths have been built. It'll be at least 5 years before the baths can be put into operation. The usual interpretation doesn't quite shake. Sometimes the dream isn't quite usual. If a man has a dream of the future, it's awfully hard to identify its source, because the source hasn't happened yet. Tell me, Bedford, you were exposed to a great deal of radiation in the early part of your life, and so were your parents. That's right. We all were. We all went through the blasts and the heavy fallout of the war, the contamination of our food, water, homes, clothing. Do you remember any unusual exposure, either to you or to your parents, radiation approaching a dangerous maximum? Let me try to remember. I'm confused. You think I'm some sort of a freak. Stop sitting there in the chair insulting yourself. You have to make plans. Plans? There's nothing I can do. There's no way I can stop him. Try to remember any toxic dose of radiation, especially in the earliest part of your life. Now go back to the enemy missile attack. Sirens. Can you hear sirens? You're possibly running toward a shelter. Your family running, too. Across a field, maybe. I'm sorry, Doctor. I've had all I can take. I'll see you again some other time. You're leaving? Thanks for the help. I've got to consider all this. Maybe I'm not remembering the future. Maybe it's just a false memory, a neurotic fantasy. How could we check? If it's really in the future... What's the matter? I can't get up. What? I can't stand up. I'm afraid I'll fall. Doctor, now I can't even get to my feet. Well, make yourself comfortable in your chair, and we'll go on with the therapy, as I said we should. I guess I have no choice. Now, you know what we're after this time. At some point in your life, you apparently were exposed to a near-toxic dose of radiation. Wait for me. Hey, don't leave me behind. Come on back. Hey, Tony, wait for me. Hurry up. Okay. Let's get down. Get the metal lid open. Hurry. They're almost here. Get the lid of the shelter up so we can get down there and be safe. You scared, Jimmy? Yes. Open that lid. Not until you apologize for what you said in class the other day. You said my family moved here because they thought nobody would bomb this sector. You said my family was scared of being bombed. Okay, let's see. Yes, I remember. When Tony and I were kids during the war. We got the scuffling, seeing who was braver. And while we were scuffling, the first warhead exploded a couple of miles up the coast.
So that's where you got the near-toxic dose?
Yes. The whole place was saturated. Hot. They had to rope off the rubble, close the roads. I was in the hospital for a month, down in the underground medical wards along with the real casualties.
Weren't you a real casualty?
No, I wasn't hurt. They made all the tests. They found no sign of tissue damage, blood count okay, bone marrow unaffected, no cancerous formations.
But now you know you were affected.
Yeah, I was affected.
Now listen to me, Mr. Bedford. You still have time to re-examine your dealings with Gillard.
You mean give him the bureau funds he wants so he can set up his black market operations?
No, Dr. Sharp.
I have my responsibility to the people of this area. Those funds have to be given to the proper applicants.
Even if it means your life?
Yes, even if it means my life. I'm still not going to give Gillard the funds.
I respect you, Mr. Bedford. I can see why the government gave you the job.
I've tried to do it right. I feel proud of what I've done. The hygienic baths, evidently I'll be successful there. That alone makes it worthwhile. I don't feel too depressed. All in all, it was worth it. A lot of people died in the war. My death comes a number of years later, but, well, I can possibly consider it as a bona fide war death.
With honor.
Hey, look, I can stand up now. I'm on my feet. Bringing up that material about the radiation exposure must have done it.
Do you intend to come back again and see me?
No, there doesn't seem to be much of a reason.
I'd like to keep on trying. Maybe there's a junction of possible futures. Some point in time at which we can deflect the future that's waiting for you.
I'll think about it. All right, Doctor. And thanks a lot for trying.
Did you wish to see me? My name is Tony Gillard. I'm sorry to bother you, but this constitutes an emergency. I got, it's a compulsion. And it's following up my life. Sit down. Tell me about it. I have an irresistible urge to push people. Push people? Towards windows, out. What am I going to do, Doc? There was this little shrimp of a guy I pushed once, and one day a girl was standing ahead of me on an escalator, and I shoved her. She was injured. I'm afraid I'll eventually kill somebody someday. Some perfectly harmless person who never did anything wrong in his life.
The stone is never afraid of anything. The stone has no sense of futurity, no sense of a future to control. Wherefore it has no fear. If you can feel fear, it means that you can sense the future. To the extent that you can sense the future, you can control it. You don't have to be stuck with any particular future. If you take the trouble to dream about the future, then you have a chance to do something about the future. If you don't like atomic wars, you have a chance to do something about it, provided you dream that it's there. Nightmare or not, you have a chance to do something.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. Dr. Deutsch, ruthless head of the espionage ring that attempted to steal the Grayson submarine, has struck again. Vowing vengeance on Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and editor Perry White for foiling him, Deutsch has arranged for a small but deadly action bomb to be hidden in Lois Lane's typewriter. Deutsch knows that Lois is about to prepare a report on the attempted kidnapping of the submarine, and the bomb has been so set that it will explode when Lois types the name Deutsch, D-E-U-T-C-H. Only one person is aware that danger threatens, young Jimmy Olsen, the Daily Planet copy boy, and he lies bound and gagged in a closet in Lois Lane's office, unable to cry out a warning, although he can hear the typewriter stuttering its message of impending doom.
Something's wrong with this machine. Please, Jan. That's all right, man.
Lois, have you seen Jimmy?
No, I haven't.
Well, you don't have to bark at me.
Well, you'd bark, too, if someone loaded you with a job like this. Do you know it's almost midnight, and here I am trying to bang out a report you were supposed to do?
Now, look, Miss Lane, don't go off the deep end. I'd be more than happy to write that report, but you know as well as I do that Commander Leeds wants me back at the Naval Base. Mr. Lewis, the Secret Service man, is calling for me.
I know. Clark Kent, alias Sherlock Holmes. You always did get the break. Say, how do you spell Deutsch?
D-E-U-T-S-C-H.
Well, that doesn't sound right. I don't think there's any S in it. Well, maybe there isn't any C.
Well, what's the difference? They'll know who it is.
Well, might just as well be right. D-E-U-T.
I'm sure there's an S in it, Lois.
And I'm sure there isn't. I think it's D-E-U-T-C-H. Doesn't that sound right? I said, doesn't that sound right? Clark Kent, what are you staring at that closet for?
Wait a minute.
Have you lost your mind?
I thought I heard someone moaning.
Well, they convinced you that you're a detective, didn't they? Well, don't practice in my office. I've got work to do.
Did you decide how to spell Deutsch?
Yes, with a C. D-E-U-T-C-H.
Wait a minute. Listen, don't you hear moaning?
All I hear is your silly chatter. Now, will you please get out?
Someone's in this closet, Lois. It's locked.
Oh, nonsense. It's never locked. Let me try it. You're right. It is locked. Now, who could have done that?
Put your ear close to this crack. Listen. You hear anything?
Oh, I'm not sure.
There. Did you hear that?
Yes, what is it?
I told you someone's locked in the closet. See if you can locate a screwdriver. I'll force the lock.
There's one in the stockroom. I'll get it.
Okay. No sense waiting for a screwdriver. I'll just rip the door open as Superman would. What? Jimmy! Good heavens, Jimmy, what happened? Here, let me get you out of there. Take that gag off. There. Oh, Jimmy.
Almost suffocated, Mr. Kent.
Screwdriver, Clark. What? Well, you got it open. Why, Jimmy!
I'm all right, Miss Lane. Just untie the cord around my wrist and ankle.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I sure made them tight.
There. You're loose.
Well, Jimmy, what happened? How'd you get in that closet?
It's a long story, Miss Lane, but before I begin telling it, there's something important. Don't use that typewriter.
Why not, Jimmy?
Just don't use it. I'll explain why.
Here, now, sit up on this chair. That's better. Oh, what's this all about? Why shouldn't Lois use the typewriter?
I've been using it for the last 10 minutes.
And nothing happened?
Oh, a few keys got jammed. Jimmy, will you please stop talking in riddles?
Turn the typewriter over, Mr. Kent, but be careful.
Okay.
Now, isn't there a little box attached to the key levers?
Yes. What is it?
I don't know, but I think it's a bomb or something.
A what?
Now, don't get excited, Lois. If it is a bomb, it has no timing device. Wait a minute. Let's see how it's hooked up.
Well, who put it there?
The same guy who tossed me in the closet.
Ah, I can tell you how to spell Deutsch now, Lois.
What's that got to do with a bomb in my typewriter?
Plenty. Jimmy's right. This is some sort of infernal mechanism, and it's so wired that the moment the name Deutsch, D-E-U-T-C-H, is typed, it explodes.
Oh, Clark.
There's no danger now. I've disconnected it. Now, we'll just drop it over here in this pitcher of water.
Clark, you mean if I'd typed Deutsch's name, the bomb would have exploded in my face?
Yes, and probably wrecked the room along with you and Jimmy.
What about yourself?
Huh?
You've been standing here all along arguing with me about how to spell Deutsch's name.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I would have been blown apart, too. But now tell me, Jimmy, who put that bomb in the typewriter?
Well, it was this way, Mr. Kent. A man came to the office and said he'd been called to repair Miss Lane's typewriter.
Repair it? Well, there was nothing wrong with it.
Well, I didn't know that, so I showed him in here.
Well, what did he look like, Jimmy?
Well, he was sort of short, and he had sandy hair, and he talked with a little accent.
Oh,
this is beginning to make sense. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, he started to work on the typewriter, and I asked him whether I could watch, but he said no. That sounded kind of funny to me.
Uh-huh.
Then he began fiddling around with that little box you dumped in the water.
Yeah?
I got suspicious and moved to the door. But before I could open it, he grabbed me, tied a handkerchief around my mouth, and bound my ankles and wrists, and tossed me into the closet.
Oh, I get cold shivers just thinking of what might have happened.
You can just imagine how I felt, Miss Lane, locked in the closet and hearing your typewriter going a mile a minute. I thought sure it was the end.
You're a brave boy, Jimmy.
Yeah, but it was Mr. Kent who got us all out of this. If he hadn't heard me yelling behind that gag, I don't know what would have happened. And how you ever managed to rip down the door, Mr. Kent,
Well, don't worry about it. It's all over now.
It won't be over for me for a long time. Look at the page in that typewriter. I just typed the first 4 letters of Deutsch's name. D-E-U-T. Just 2 more letters would have exploded that bomb. Oh,
Mr. Kent, a man just came off the elevator.
Oh, it's Mr. Lewis. Hello. Come in a minute, will you? Yeah. He's the Secret Service man from the Naval Base.
I'm sorry I'm late, Ken, but I had a flat.
Oh, that's all right. Lois, Jimmy, this is Mr. Lewis of the Secret Service.
Oh, I think I met the young lady at the Naval Base. Her name is Lane, isn't it?
that's right. Yes, I think we did meet.
Jimmy is our head copy boy who always manages to get into trouble.
Oh. Well, just so long as you get out of it, Jimmy, you're okay, huh?
Just managed to get out of some a few minutes ago by the skin of his teeth. See that pitcher of water? A little box immersed in it is an action bomb. It was attached to Miss Lane's typewriter.
You don't mean that, Ken.
Uh-huh.
He means it all right, Mr. Lewis. We're all lucky we're alive.
I'll tell you about it on our way to the Naval Base. You must be anxious to get back.
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. You better leave that report for tomorrow, Lois. Go on home and get some sleep. Same thing goes for you, Jim. And tell Mr. White I'll call him in the morning. So long.
So long. Bye, Mr. Lewis.
Goodbye, Miss Lane. Goodbye, Jimmy.
Bye.
Evidently, our friend Deutsch stops at nothing. I'm sure he placed that bomb in the typewriter. From Jimmy's description, it's quite evident the phony typewriter repairman was Deutsch's pal, Hans.
Yes, I think you're right, Ken. But what's he got against Miss Lane?
Oh, probably the fact that she and Mr. White stumbled on their hideout. The thing that puzzles me is how Deutsch knew Lois had taken over the writing of that report. It was just decided earlier tonight when Commander Leeds called and asked me to report at the Naval Base. You see, I was supposed to do that report.
Oh, on Deutsch and his activities?
Yes.
How much do you know about Deutsch?
Oh, enough to put him behind bars for life if we ever catch him.
Really?
Why, certainly. That submarine incident alone would be sufficient, and I was right in on that.
You like this sort of work, don't you, Ken?
Yes, I do. It's more exciting than routine reporting. I guess you Secret Servicemen are pretty fed up with it.
Oh, you get hardened. Commander Leeds seems to have a lot of faith in you.
Well, I hope I can justify it.
Mm-hmm. You know, Kent, I was thinking it mightn't be a bad idea to stop at Deutsch's old hideout, that house on the cliff, and see whether anything's turned up. I understand the place is being guarded, and it's on our way, isn't it?
Yes, you take a left turn off the main road. You can't miss it. There's an old oak tree that must have been struck by lightning right where you make the turn. In fact, I think that's it up ahead. Slow down, will you?
Uh-huh.
Yes, that's the place. Turn left here and drive right to the ocean.
You've been inside the old house, haven't you, Kent?
Yes, once, just for a few minutes.
Quite a place. That fellow Deutsch did things in a big way. Basement of the house.
Look out!
Nothing...
Someone in the road!
Stupid old fool, we almost killed him.
He's coming over.
Hey, you. What's the big idea standing in the middle of the road?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Are you two government fellas?
Well, what if we are?
Well, I got something to tell you.
Aren't you the caretaker of that big house on the cliff?
That's right. How'd you know?
Well, I think we met once before.
Well, are you government fellas?
Yes, we are. What do you want?
There's something suspicious going on here.
We know all about that.
You don't know about this because I just discovered it myself. Down at the cove.
Where?
Down at the cove, down yonder. There's an old shack down there that Judge Corbett used to use to warm himself when he went ice fishing.
Well, what about the shack?
Well, there's people in it.
So what? Probably a couple of tramps.
Oh, no, they ain't. Tramps don't drive up in no fancy car and then push it into the water.
They pushed a car into the water?
Yes, sirree. I've seen it with my own eyes. Sunk it in 30 feet, they did.
Oh, let's get going, Kent. This man's crazy.
I heard that, mister. If you think I'm crazy, you go on down to that shack. I did. With them tramps, I'll eat a bale of hay.
Maybe we better take a look, Lewis. Pushing a car into the water sounds like our friend Deutsch, particularly if it was an official car.
Well, sounds like a pipe dream to me, but let's go. Where is this shack, Pop?
Well, you make a right turn down a dirt road about 200 feet up. Now, you follow that until it ends in the woods near the water.
I think you'd better come along, Pop, and show us the way.
I'll be glad to.
All right, hop in.
Now, the road's right within city, sir. Now, take it easy, mister. It's rutted.
Here?
Yeah, that's it.
Did you notice what kind of a car they pushed into the water?
Nope, I didn't. It's pretty dark.
What makes you think it was a car? Might have been an elephant.
Elephants don't have motors and headlights, mister.
You better stop here. We can walk the rest of the way. It ain't a far piece.
Oh, is that the shack down by the shore?
Yep. Belongs to Jed Conby. I don't see any lights. Yeah, maybe they left. But I ain't seen nobody come out of this road.
Well, we've come this far, so we might as well look the shack over. This path must lead to it.
Yep, it does. Now, wait a minute. In case there is someone in the shack, we'd be better off approaching it from two sides.
Oh, yes.
I'll go along the beach, Kent. You and Pop head down this path.
All right.
If you need me, whistle 3 times.
Okay.
That fellow's a little too smart alecky for me.
You mustn't let him scare you. He's a Secret Service man. They're pretty hard.
Well, all I got to say is that we're liable to run into a heap of trouble if the fellas that got rid of that car are still in the shack.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go.
The old caretaker has no idea of the trouble waiting for them at the shack. For even now, Deutsch and Hans, having seen the headlights of the car, are crouched in the darkness, listening for the sound of approaching footsteps. Something is bound to happen. What will it be?
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When we last saw Clark Kent, he and the Secret Service man Lewis and an old caretaker were approaching a small shack on the edge of a cove. Lewis had separated from them and was advancing toward the shack along the beach. Kent and the caretaker were taking a narrow, tree-shaded path through the brush. Darkness hangs low over the water, and the silence is broken only by the shrill chirping of crickets.
How many men did you say you saw pushing that car into the water?
Well, I didn't say, mister, but I recollect there was 2.
Uh-huh.
They waited till she sunk, then they went into the shack. I've got a feeling that maybe it's them foreign fellas who was using the big house on the cliff. You know about them, don't you?
Yes, I do.
That's why I stopped you on the road to tell you.
Uh-huh.
I figured you was government fellas. There's been a whole parcel of them roaming around the big house.
Yeah.
We better go easy now. We're nearing the shack. Where's that Secret Service fella?
Well, I can't see him from here, but he's approaching the shack from the beach.
We're about as close as we can get now without busting in. See anything?
No, not a thing. I'll try the door.
You better be careful, mister. Drop down! I'm hit, mister.
Easy now. Take it easy.
I knew it. I knew there'd be trouble.
Where were you hit?
Here. Right here.
Over the heart. That's bad. I'll get you to a doctor. Don't worry. Now, you'll be all right.
I can't move.
Steady now.
I won't last long. Not very long. Not very.
Oh, he's gone. I suppose I should tear into that shack as Superman and make them pay for this. But that wouldn't get me what I want. Deutsch may be the brains of this gang, but I need him to lead me to the rest of them. I wonder where Lewis is. He must have heard those shots. That should bring him running. Oh, probably shooting at him, too. Well, I've got to get inside that shack as Clark Kent. It's the only way I can learn anything. I give up. Stop shooting.
Come forward with your hands in the air.
All right.
He had you covered with 2 guns. Don't try any funny work. Stop where you are. Open the door, Hans. Put the gun in his back. Bring him in.
Yeah, Doctor. Go ahead. Inside.
All right.
Turn on the light, Hans. I have him covered.
Jawohl.
I have him covered.
Jawohl.
So, Herr Kent. Again we have the honor of entertaining you, eh? But this time the circumstances are slightly different, no?
The circumstances don't matter, Dr. Deutsch. It's always a pleasure to see you.
That, Herr Kent, is what you call sarcastic. I would suggest that you dispense with the clever remarks.
Oh.
How many men are with you?
I'm all alone.
You lie. We saw 3 men get out of the car. You're not stupid, Mr. Kent.
Well, since you know how many there were, why ask me?
Because I choose to, and I expect an answer. Where is the third man?
The third?
You heard me. They have accounted for you as the Secret Service man, Lewis. Where is the third?
Well, if you must know, you murdered him. He's out there in front of the shack.
Who is he?
Just a harmless old man, a local resident.
Well, he is certainly harmless now, even if he was not before.
I...
Keep your hands up. Search him, Hans.
Edison Boston.
Good. You may lower your hands, Mr. Kent.
Thank you.
Keep a sharp lookout at the window, Hans.
Yeah.
Well, you've got quite a setup here, Dr. Deutsch. Shortwave sending and receiving set, photographic apparatus. And what's that big control board with all the fancy dials?
That is none of your business, Herr Kent.
Oh.
You know, by all that is right, I should shoot you down like a dog.
Well, what are you waiting for? You've got the gun.
No? You are worth more alive than dead, at least for the present. I have a few scores to settle, and you will help me settle them.
Really?
Yes, really. After that is done, you will suffer the penalty of having interfered with my plans.
I suppose Mr. Lewis will suffer the same penalty.
There is no question about that.
Where is he?
In a safe place. Enough of these questions. I will ask a few. I understand Miss Lane met with an accident. Is that true?
No. No, it isn't. Fortunately, we found the bomb in time.
Huh? Hans, you hear that?
Yeah, Doctor. I hear it.
That is too bad. We will have to devise another method. What is that?
A storm, Herr Doctor.
Contact Schmidt by radio. Tell him he will send the plane over within the hour.
Yeah, Herr Doctor.
You must have quite an organization, Deutsch.
More than you can imagine, Herr Kent. That is why we cannot lose. You will see shortly how well organized we are. But first, let me have the papers from your pocket.
What for?
Never mind. Give them to me.
All right. Here they are.
You have here what is called a police card with your signature on it?
Yes.
Good. Well, Hans?
The tubes are booming, Doctor. I will call him now. 649, antworten. 649, antworten. 649.
With Kent a willing captive in order to learn more about Deutsch and his gang, and the whereabouts of Lewis a mystery, the little shack on the cove is a scene of tense drama as a storm breaks over it. Meanwhile, back at the Daily Planet office, Lois Lane is still working on the report.
Well, Jimmy, you still here? I thought Mr. Kent told you to go home.
Well, he told you the same thing, Miss Lane.
Well, I have work to do. Now run along home.
Well, I'm not tired. Oh, Miss Lane, a messenger just delivered this envelope for Mr. White. It's marked important.
Let me see it. Editor Perry White, Daily Planet Building. Important. Deliver at once. No, who could be sending an important message at this hour? When did Mr. White leave, Jimmy?
Oh, a long time ago.
Oh, maybe I'd better open it. Typewritten. Jimmy, it's from Clark Kent.
No fooling.
Listen. Dear Mr. White, I need your help. Please come at once. I have drawn a map to show you where I will meet you, Clark Kent.
Oh, there's a map, all right. Gee, what do you think it is, Miss Lane?
I don't know, but I think I'd better call the police.
Well, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Mr. Kent wanted the police. He would have asked for them.
I need your help. Please come at once. I'll call Mr. White. Hate to do it at this hour.
Oh, wasn't Mr. Kent supposed to go to the naval base with that Secret Service man?
So I understood.
Oh, gee, according to this map, he's nowhere near there.
Wait a minute. Let me see that map. Good heavens, you know where he is?
No, where?
About half a mile away from that house on the cliff. The house Dr. Deutsch was using as a hideout. There's no answer, Mr. White. Well, I don't know what to do, Jimmy.
I know what I'm going to do.
What?
I'm going down there to help Mr. Kent.
Jimmy, don't be silly. Give me that letter. Jimmy.
So long, Miss Lane. See you later.
Jimmy, come back. Jimmy.
Gee, mister, it sure was nice of you to pick me up. This is going to save me a lot of hiking.
Where'd you say you were going?
The old ocean road.
Yeah? What's down there?
Well, I've got to meet a friend of mine. You don't have to take me that far if it's out of your way.
Yeah. I'm trucking this load of flour into the city, but I ain't in no hurry. I'll drop you off, son.
Oh, gee, thanks. Oh, listen to that thunder. There's a storm coming.
How's your dog?
He's fast asleep in my lap. You know, I just picked him up on the road about an hour ago. When it started thundering, he came running out of the bushes. I guess he was frightened.
Yeah, dogs don't like thunder.
He's a funny-looking mutt, but I kind of like him. I'm going to call him Storm because he came to me on account of the thunderstorm. Say, feel his ears. They're like silk.
Yeah, they are.
I never had a dog. But sometimes when you're alone, a dog can be a great friend.
Yeah.
You like dogs, mister?
Yeah, I like him. I had one once, but he got run over.
Oh, that's too bad. Look, he's waking up. Hiya, Storm, old fella. He sure sounds happy, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Well, we turn in here. Old Ocean Road's up a way. It's a funny place to meet anyone.
Well, you see, it's a special friend of mine. Oh, it's all right, Storm. Don't be frightened.
Well, here you are. Old Ocean Road.
Oh, thanks a lot, mister.
Right.
Call out, Storm. Come on, hop down. Attaboy.
Yeah, I don't see nobody waiting for you, son.
Oh, my friend must be around somewhere. I'll find him. Storm, come back. Hey, Storm. Oh, he ran into the woods.
He's chasing a rabbit.
I've got to find him. Storm.
Wait, I'll help you look for him.
Storm. Hey, Storm.
He went that way. Come on, son.
Here, Storm. Here, Storm.
Well, that ought to bring him back.
Oh, I see him. He's down at the water. Maybe he's thirsty.
Ah, that's salt water, boy. Hey, what's that big thing down there?
What? It's a seaplane. That's the size of it.
Now, what do you suppose a seaplane's doing there?
Gee, I don't know. Here, Storm. Here, boy.
Something about that seaplane your dog likes. Look at him. He hopped up on the wing.
Hey, Storm, get down off there. Storm.
Nothing doing. Look at him. He hopped right into the cabin.
I got to get him out. Can you lift me up on the wing, please?
I guess so. Don't fall off. That water's plenty deep there. Here, get a grip on my shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Up you go.
Okay.
Watch it now, son. Don't slip.
Oh, I'm all right. I'll crawl along to the cabin. Darn that dog. If he wasn't such a funny-looking mutt, I'd leave him here. But nobody else would want him.
How you doing?
Swell. I'm climbing into the cabin. Storm, where are you? Gosh, it's dark in here. Storm! Oh, where'd he go? Storm! Oh, there you are. Come here, you crazy pooch. Storm, look out, you'll get me! Ouch! Right into the instrument panel. Gosh, what happened? We're taking off! Help! Help!
Motors roaring, the giant seaplane skims across the water and rises into the dark, foreboding sky, carrying Jimmy and his dog with it. Is there anyone at the controls of the mysterious plane? And where is it headed? Thrills and excitement are coming, so keep listening.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett. Hey, Cadet!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett. Space Cadet. Rocketing through the inky blackness of space far out in the asteroid belt, the Polaris suddenly picks up a radio call from Dr. Joan Dale, revealing that she and Cadet Roger Manning are on asteroid 2049. Then, just as suddenly, her voice is drowned out by static. Now, on the control deck, Tom Corbett and Captain Strong work frantically to reestablish contact.
Rocket Cruiser Polaris to Dr. Joan Dale. This is Tom Corbett on the Polaris. Can you read me, Dr. Dale? Come in. Come in.
Hello, Polaris. This is Dr. Dale.
We've got her again, Captain Strong.
Good, I'll take over. Hello, Joan. This is Steve. Your rocket scout just exploded out here in space. How in the universe did you and Manning manage to abandon that ship and get to the asteroid?
We didn't abandon the ship, Steve. When Roger and I landed here, Mason and his men took us prisoner.
Joan, I don't understand. Why should Mason take you prisoners?
Well, he's learned that the ore he was sent here to mine is extremely valuable, so he's been strip mining, selling the ore privately to line his own pockets.
I see.
He and his men were loading a privately owned freighter when we arrived. We caught them red-handed.
Where are you transmitting from, Joan? How did you get to a set?
We're locked up in a tool shed where their spare equipment is stored. Roger and I finally succeeded in rigging up this radio. Steve, you're our only hope. You've got to help us.
We're on our way, Joan.
And, Steve, another thing.
Yes?
In case anything goes wrong, I don't...
Hello, Joan? Joan, come in. What happened to the receiver, Tom?
Well, nothing, far as I can see, Captain
Well, check
Strong.
the circuit.
Oh, the circuit's all right, sir. She just isn't sending.
Well, try to raise her again.
Aye, sir. Polaris calling Dr. Joan Dale on Asteroid 2049. Polaris calling Joan Dale on Asteroid 2049. Come in, Dr. Dale. We aren't reading you.
Polaris to Dr. Dale. Come in. Come in.
Hello, Polaris. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is the Polaris. Come in.
Is that you, Captain Strong?
Strong here, yes.
Listen, Strong, this is Greg Mason on Asteroid 2049.
What have you done with Dr. Dale and Cadet Manning?
Stop using your tubes, Strong. They're still healthy. I just had to close the lady's mouth. She talks too much.
What do you hope to gain by this, Mason?
A fortune, Captain, and the freedom to enjoy it. Now get this and get it straight. We're going to monitor your space transmitter from now on. Stay away from here, and don't try to send a report to any ship. Is that clear?
And if we do...
Then it will be curtains for these two friends of yours. You'll never see them again, alive.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, did you ever go to a briefing session? Well, that's what the cadets at Space Academy do before each space flight. All the cadets on that flight meet in the ready room. Then the commander of the flight gives them their instructions about the mission. Well, one day, Captain Strong was telling the cadets about it.
All right, now, settle down, everybody. Now, that's better. Now, you all know your jobs. We'll start blasting off at 0800 hours. Blast off at 3-minute intervals in the order assigned and head for the rendezvous point. And one thing more. Don't stay in the sack and miss breakfast. You'll need your wits about you, and you'll need lots of energy. So get down to that mess hall early and put away a good breakfast. I suggest you belt away lots of Kellogg's Pep, for one thing. Pep gives you plenty of vitamins, plenty of good food values, plenty of energy food to call on. Vitamins B1 and D help keep you on your toes. So make sure you're getting your share. Some of you ought to have second helpings of Pep on that score alone. Besides, Pep tastes so downright good you'll ask for a second bowl anyway. Just make sure you leave some for me. That's all. Cadets, head up! Dismissed.
Well, I think Captain Strong had better get to that mess hall early himself. You know, Pep really makes a hit at the breakfast table. You spacemen out there, try Kellogg's Pep yourself. See how absolutely swell a cereal can be. You'll be just like cadets here at Space Academy if you sit down to the spaceman cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
While transmitting a message to the Polaris for help, Dr. Joan Dale and Cadet Roger Manning are surprised by Greg Mason, the mining engineer who was holding them prisoner on Asteroid 2049. Mason then warns Captain Strong that if he attempts to land on the asteroid or contact the Solar Guard, Joan and Manning will be killed. Now several hours have passed, and Captain Strong and the Space Cadets are near Asteroid 2049, hoping to find a way to rescue their friends.
We're within radar range of Asteroid 2049, Captain Strong. What's our next move?
I don't know, Tom. I half expected Mason to warn us off again.
Well, there hasn't been a word from him since he warned us to keep away. And we'll be in visual contact in another minute or so. Shall we alter course?
No. Let's hold her steady. I'd like to bait Mason into establishing radio contact again.
Well, sir, we're coming into visual range of the asteroid now.
Get a fix on it with the forward scanner, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Power deck aye. Net Astro here.
Astro, fire braking rockets 1 and 2.
Are we going to land, sir?
I don't know yet. Just stand by.
Aye, sir.
Captain Strong.
Oh, what's the trouble, Tom?
Look here in the forward scanner. There's no sign of the space freighter anywhere. The asteroid is deserted. I've been through the whole camp, Captain Strong. It's empty. Even the supplies are gone.
How about you, Astro?
Well, I didn't find anybody, if that's what you mean, sir, but I did notice something else.
What's that?
The ore veins in the mine are all played out, sir. There's nothing down there to mine.
No? Well, it's beginning to make sense now.
How do you mean, sir?
Well, Mason and his men must have been just about ready to close up operations here when Joan and Roger arrived and found out what they were up to.
So now they've cleared out and have the whole universe to hide in.
Which means we'll never find them now.
Not unless Joan and Roger left some kind of clue for us.
Well, but they didn't, Captain. We've searched every square inch of this asteroid.
Say, wait a minute, Astro. Remember when Dr. Dale first gave us that lab lecture on this ore?
Sure. What about it?
Remember she said it was very scarce, only 2 known sources?
Yeah, that's right. Asteroid 2049 and a twin. I forget which one it was now.
Number 2046.
What are you getting at, Tom?
Well, it's just a wild hunch, sir, but suppose Dr. Dale told Mason about the twin.
Why should she?
To keep Mason from killing her and Roger. He'd have no reason to keep prisoners with this mine played out.
Sure, and if she told him there was another deposit of that ore, Mason wouldn't lose any time blasting off to find it.
And he'd save valuable time by taking Joan along to help him.
And he's still safe with Dr. Dale and Roger as hostages.
Yeah, but all this leaves us just where we were before. If we try to land on the asteroid, he'd just carry out his threat to kill them.
Well, let's jump our hurdles one at a time. The first thing we have to do is to find Mason. Get back aboard the Polaris, boys, and prepare to blast off.
Well, Dr. Dale, you can thank your friends for keeping their word. So far, they haven't reported what's happened to you and Manning.
How long do you think you can get away with this, Mason? You're bound to be caught sooner or later.
That's right, Mason. You haven't a chance. If you were smart, you'd give yourself up to the Solar Guard. Maybe they'd be easy on you.
You're space-happy, Manning. I've got everything under control. As soon as my men strip this asteroid of its ore, we're blasting off in this freighter for outer space.
What about us?
You needn't worry, Manning. You and Dr. Dale won't have to make the trip.
You're darn right we won't.
Tommy! Come in here! Quick!
I've just been waiting for a chance like this, Mason.
Roger, look out! Behind you!
Let go of my arms, you slimy space nut.
That's it, Tommy! Pin it down.
Dirty space crawlers, I'll take on both of you.
Not now, you won't, Manning.
Let go of me.
And since you won't behave, we'll teach you how. Take them below, Tully, and put them in irons.
There it is, Captain Strong. I've got asteroid 2046 on the radar.
All right, Tom. Hold this course. It will keep us outside their radar scanners.
But what are we going to do now, sir? How are we going to help Dr. Dale and Roger if we can't get any closer to the asteroid than this?
We've got to figure out a way to evade Mason's radar first, Astro.
That's going to be tough, sir. Even if we circle the asteroid and come up on the other side of his mining camp, his sonar equipment will pick up our rocket blast.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got an idea. Suppose we let them pick us up on their radar.
Are you crazy, Astro?
Maybe, but the way I figure it, Tom, if we alert them that way, they'll keep the radar on the Polaris to watch every move we make, right?
We can be sure of that, Astro.
Fine. Then the Polaris will act as a decoy. And while you keep the ship on a course just inside Mason's radar screen, sir, Tom and I could take the jet boat, land on the other side of the asteroid, and take them by surprise.
Sounds pretty risky, Astro. Even if you were able to find Joan and Roger, you could never get off the asteroid with them in a jet boat. Mason could shoot you down before you got back to the Polaris.
I think I've got the answer to that, sir. Give Astro and me a certain time limit to find Dr. Dale and Roger and get them away from the freighter. Then you close in and fire a space torpedo at Mason's ship.
Suppose you didn't find Joan and Roger in the allotted time.
We could signal you after we found it.
An infrared signal flare would do it, sir.
When you see the signal, wait exactly 10 minutes, and then fire the torpedo.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one thing I forgot.
What's that, Astro?
Even though they've got the radar on the Polaris, their sonar will pick up the sound of the jets in the boat.
There's a way out of that, I think, Astro. Judging by the size of asteroid 2046, the gravitational pull ought to be pretty slight.
We can find out easily enough. Wait a minute. I'll check the master chart.
Shouldn't be much different from the other one. They're about the same size.
You're right, Astro. It's .005. Why, we could land the jet boat without using any braking power at all.
We'd just float down to the surface. Our fall would be as easy as a parachute landing back on Earth.
Well, seems to add up to a workable plan.
It's the only chance we've got, sir.
All right. Jump into your space gear, boys, and grab a couple of parallel rays. You'll shove off in 5 minutes.
Hold on, Astro. We're going to touch down, and we just might hit a little harder than we figured.
We'll know in a second, Tom. Here goes.
Not bad. Hardly jarred us. Okay, put your space helmet on, and let's get moving.
Right.
All set. Open the hatch. Come on. We've got a small-sized hike ahead of us. It won't take us long. With this gravity, you can jump 10 or 15 feet at a time. I imagine they'll be using their space freighter for headquarters. I doubt if they take the time to put up a regular camp. Okay, then, let's head for her. You can see her nose just over the horizon. So far, so good, Astro. We haven't been spotted yet. And there's the ship. The crew is unloading something from the aft hatch. Mining equipment. Our hunch was right. They're going to take as much of this ore with them as they can. Where do you think we'll find Dr. Dale and Roger? On the ship somewhere. Doesn't that type of freighter have a hatch on the other side of the hull? Most of them do. It's an escape hatch in case of a runaway reactor pile. It should lead right to the power deck. Good. We'll give it a try. Come on.
Careful, Astro. We may run into somebody in this companionway.
I'll be ready for him. Hey, wait. Let's check this compartment.
Okay, open the bulkhead door, but take it easy.
There you are. Kind of dark.
I'll go in first. You cover me from here until I find out what's in there.
Go ahead.
Why don't you space brothers leave us alone?
Roger!
Huh? Who's there?
What's the matter? Don't you recognize me?
Tom, by all the moons of Jupiter.
How did you get here?
No time to explain now, Dr. Dale. We've got to blast out of here.
We can't, Junior. They've got us in irons.
Oh? Well, we can carve you out of those. Hey, Astro!
Yeah, Tom? Any luck?
Yeah, I found them. Get outside and fire that flare.
Okay. I'll wait for you at the airlock. And tell Manning if he doesn't behave, we'll leave him behind.
Go on, you Venusian ape. I think I'll stay here.
Boys, this is no time for kidding. Corbett, can you get us out of these irons?
There's an electronic switch controlling them, Tom, but I don't know where it is.
Well, we won't bother with the switch. I'll just short-circuit the connection. And listen, as soon as you're free, find a couple of spacesuits. After Astro fires that flare, we only have 10 minutes to get clear of this ship. Here's the airlock. Put your space helmets on.
Let me help you, Dr. Dale.
Thank you, Manning. I can manage.
Ready?
Yes, Corbett.
Lead the way, Junior. Hey, where's Astro? I thought he was going to meet us here.
Probably outside. Equalize pressure, will you, Roger?
Right.
Tom, why did you send Astro outside to fire a flare?
To let Captain Strong know we found you, ma'am. And have him fire a space torpedo at this ship.
A space torpedo?
Don't fuse your tubes, Roger. It's a timed operation. 10 minutes after he gets the signal, he'll fire. That'll give us time to clear the freighter.
Well, it's been at least 5 minutes since Astro left. We've got to make tracks.
4 minutes and 30 seconds exactly, Roger. Don't worry. I'm keeping track of the time. We ought to make it easy. Okay, pressure's equalized.
I'll open the outer port.
Right.
Come on, Dr. Dale.
You see Astro?
Yeah, there he is. Hey, Astro!
Astro, is everything okay?
What's the matter with him? Why doesn't he answer us?
Hey, he looks kind of funny to me.
He isn't even moving. Great jumping Jupiter. He's been frozen by a parallel ray.
You're absolutely right, honey.
Huh? Mason!
Drop that parallel ray, kid, or you'll be frosted.
Why, you...
No, Tom, don't.
Okay. Here you are, Mason.
Well, you're showing some sense, finally. More than that big hulk over there did.
Okay, so you got it. Now let him go.
All right. There.
Astro, you all right? Oh, sure. But it sure felt awful to just stand here and see you walk into a trap. How did it happen, Astro? Mason and his crew just surprised me, that's all. Jumped me right after I fired the flare.
You weren't very smart, boys. You should have figured I'd send out patrols until I'd find your jet boat.
But, Astro, you did fire the flare. Yeah, exactly 5 minutes ago. Well, looks like you've got a tiger by the tail, Mason.
What are you talking about?
In 5 minutes, this ship is going to be blown into space junk. You'd better let us go.
Ha! Still playing games, eh? Get back inside right now. If this ship is blasted, you'll be blasted with it.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, everybody's having fun with the Magic Eye, the swell prize you get in every package of Kellogg's Pep. Everywhere you go, you see spacemen trading Magic Eyes, playing games with them, using them for decorations on hats, belts, and jackets. It's really fun. So, if you haven't started your Magic Eye collection yet, there's not a minute to lose. You know, Magic Eyes are those swell plastic discs with the moving pictures on them. When you tilt them up and down, the picture actually changes back and forth. Trains go smoking down the track. Planes go streaking through the clouds. And your favorite stars of movies, sports, and radio entertain you. Paramount star Bob Hope swings a baseball bat. Clyde Beatty cracks a whip. Paramount star Bill Holden works the submarine periscope. Every Magic Eye is packed with action. And you can get as many as 16 different Magic Eye pictures. There's no waiting, no box tops, no mailing. Just get a package of Kellogg's Pep at your grocery store and open it up. You'll find a Magic Eye right inside, free at no extra cost. And remember, at the same time you get a Magic Eye, you'll be getting a swell-tasting cereal, too, which makes it a double bargain. So don't delay. For a Magic Eye and a swell cereal, ask Mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Their daring attempt to rescue Dr. Joan Dale and Roger Manning a failure, Tom and Astro find themselves in deadly danger as Mason orders them back into the space freighter, refusing to believe that Captain Strong has fired a space torpedo at the ship. Now, as he stands in the open airlock, Tom pleads with Mason.
You've got to believe me, Mason. In less than 3 minutes, this ship will be blasted off the asteroid.
You're wasting your breath, kid. I don't fall for schoolboy tricks. Now go on. Get into that airlock, all of you.
Only 2.5 minutes now.
Shut up, you.
Do you know what will happen when that space torpedo hits, Mason? It not only will blast the freighter apart, it'll kill everyone in 100 yards radius.
Which means you and your crew will get it too, Mason.
One more word out of you.
Why do you suppose Astro fired that flare? That's when you caught him, Mason.
I didn't see any flare.
It was an infrared flare. You couldn't see it without special goggles.
1 minute and 45 seconds, Mason. Remember, you'll get it too. Look at your crew. They believe it. Look at them. They're backing off.
Hey, come back here. Come back, you lily-livered space fighter.
They're smarter than you are, Mason. They want to live.
1 minute and 30 seconds. It'll take us time to get away from the ship.
You're not going to trick me.
You've only got one way of finding out if this is a trick. Stay here. You'll either win or be spaced out. 1 minute and 15 seconds. And that torpedo has your name on it, too, Mason. You'll never get away now. There isn't time.
You're all alone with us now, pal. Look at the way your crew is running.
Yeah, now they'll make all the money out of this asteroid, not you.
You rotten space crawlers, come back here. Come back!
Roger, Tom, now!
You bet!
Let go!
We're just taking this gun away now. Get it, Tom. Yep, I have it.
No, don't shoot! Don't leave me here!
We won't. Start running. This is your only chance. Less than 20 seconds before the torpedo hits.
Come on, boys, run! Run!
Head east, Mason. That's where the jet boat is.
Who cares? Let's just get where the torpedo is and blast your tubes, all of you. It'll hit any second.
Rocket Cruiser Polaris calling Space Academy Earth. We have found Dr. Dale and Cadet Manning. All hands are safe, and we are returning to base at once. Over and out.
Corbett, that message sounded like sweet music to me.
Joan, why don't you go below and try to get some rest?
Oh, I'm fine here, Steve. Just fine.
But I still don't see how you managed to get back to the jet boat.
It was easy, Skipper. First of all, with the low gravity, we covered 20 feet in one jump. And then when that torpedo hit the freighter, Mason and his men were so busy trying to get away, they didn't pay any attention to us.
What are you going to do about Mason and the crew, sir? They're stranded on the asteroid now.
Not for long. As soon as I saw your jet boat blast off, I contacted Solar Guard headquarters on Mars. They're sending a ship out to pick them up.
Yeah, and then Mason can spend plenty of time looking for ore, cracking rocks on the prison asteroid.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris blasts off on a vacation, only to encounter mystery and danger as they battle the giants of Mercury. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Al Markham, Edward Bryce, and Margaret Garland. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program has come to you from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
You, finding life pretty dull? Dreaming again of exotic places? Wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape with us now to a puppet kingdom in the heart of the Belgian Congo, and a man who challenged that kingdom because of a dream, as Gil Dowd and Anthony Ellis tell it in their most unusual story, The Power of Hammer. Play it again.
Oh, Sam, I have played it for you 10 times already.
It's a jukebox, isn't it? I'm paying. Play it again. I like it.
So, I play it again. We hear something else now. Music.
Mister, I like that song.
Get some water.
It's better. Felt good when I hit it. Hurt my hand, though. That's all right. Lousy whiskey. Lousy bar. Lousy conga. I must be drunk. Must be, I am. Kerrigan, you're drunk. I like that song. Wish I was back in the States. Wish I could see Alice. Alice. Gotta get out of here. Hey!
Yes, sir.
Here's for your broken table. Here's for your whiskey. That enough?
Oh, it's all right. It's not your fault. I have another mule train for you next time you come to Monaco.
Where do we go from here, boys? Where do we go from here?
Hey, Sam, where you go, you strong man? You stay with me, and we have good time.
A cigarette. Ah. Hey, dog. You got a friend for me?
Mr. Kerrigan?
Sure.
You will come with us, please?
What for?
The inspector will tell you. Come with us, please. Inspector Farnack?
Oh, yes. You can wait outside. Come in, Mr. Kerrigan. Sit down, please.
What's the charge?
No charge, Mr. Kerrigan. Government business. I have received a cable ordering me to extradite a man named Benjamin Hammer. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
We believe that he is somewhere in this territory, possibly west of Muyumba, across the Lualaba River.
Uh-huh.
15 years ago, he embezzled money in Brussels and incidentally killed a man.
Took a long time to get him.
But we think we have now. Have you heard of a white man who calls himself a king and has made himself responsible for several thousand Bahuto tribesmen?
I've heard rumors.
That man may be Benjamin Hammer. I want you to take me into his kingdom.
Across the Lualaba? Not me.
Kerrigan, you are the only guide in the Belgian Congo who is familiar with that country. Surely you have taken hunting parties in there before?
That's right, and I'm not going back.
You will be well paid?
Not well enough. Sorry.
Just a moment. As a guide and a hunter, Mr. Kerrigan, you realize that you are licensed by the government. And here, I am the government.
So I moved to another territory. This lousy Congo's all the same.
You are an alien, my friend. And without my help, it may be difficult to obtain a license anywhere.
Look, Inspector, this is for your own good. It's bad in there. Real bad.
You mean the natives?
Yeah. We wouldn't get 10 miles beyond the river.
I am aware of the hostility of the natives, Mr. Kerrigan. This is my territory. But we won't be going in alone.
Oh?
There'll be 40 of us.
You're Bantu boys?
And 2 machine guns.
This is funny. You're blackmailing me.
Not at all. You will be paid.
That's what I mean. Okay, it's your funeral. There's your stinking, polluted Lualaba River, Farnack. There's your jungle.
I recognize it, Mr. Kerrigan. I have been here before.
You've been to Mayumba, but you haven't gone across the river.
We shall unload the trucks now and leave tomorrow at dawn. The Bantus have instructions not to fraternize with the villagers, and I wish you, too, to remain silent about our mission.
Sure. But you listen tonight. You'll hear the drums talking. There's no such word as secret here.
One more thing, Kerrigan. As long as you are in the employ of the Belgian government, You will try to remain sober. Sergeant Labat, yes, sir. Unload the trucks and put the guard about them. Careful with the trucks.
Sure. Be careful of everything. Unload the trucks. Post the guard. If you really want to be careful, go back to Manono, boy. Back to Manono. But you won't go back, you fat little fernac. And you may lose more than your weight. All the villages at night. Hot. Stink. Never sleep. Wonder if Fernac's listening. Wonder if he's awake. You hear the drums, Fernac? Did you ever hear a drum talking? Well, I did. Many soldiers with guns crossing the river before the sun and come to the kingdom of Hammer. Can you hear that, Fernac? I better have a drink. Maybe sleep.
Very good. Mr. Kerrigan and I will take the point. Instruct the men to maintain 2-pace intervals. That's my whistle. Take cover. Mr. Kerrigan?
Yeah?
Were you asleep?
No, just last smoke.
Mr. Kerrigan, one of my Bantu sergeants says that he understands the language of the drums.
Wouldn't be surprised.
He says that they are telling the king that we are coming.
I figures.
The king's name is Hammer.
And I guess you were right.
I think that you have known that all the time. You were too anxious to stop us from coming here.
You've got a suspicious mind, Fernac. I told you why I didn't want to guide you. It's dangerous. You don't know what you're getting into. Better go back to your desk and your rubber stamp.
I have brought my stamp with me. The seal of the Belgian government. I am that government.
On the other side of the river, maybe, but not here. There's a king by the name of Hammer.
I have got 40 trained soldiers.
What if his men are more loyal than your tame Bantus?
At the pace we set today, how long do you think it will take us?
Oh, with luck, 4 more days, maybe 5. Remember, I've never been here before.
So you say. Good night, Mr. Kerrigan.
Hey, Fernac.
Yes?
I wouldn't move around too much in the dark.
Don't be afraid, Mr. Kerrigan. We are well guarded. I posted 6 men with our machine guns.
Okay, I won't be afraid. Too quiet. So I see what happened? No. Their funeral, not mine.
Inspector!
What is it, Sergeant?
The separatists are dead, all of them. Machine gun stuff.
What? Show me.
This way,
Lucky it wasn't you, fat little Fernac. I told you it was dangerous. You wouldn't listen, would you? Hope you haven't had breakfast yet. You won't like what you see. Better go back. Back to Manono for you, boy.
Kerrigan!
What's the matter?
The sentries.
Dead, huh? You look a little green.
You are possibly more used to it than I am, Mr. Kerrigan. They were beheaded. The machine guns were stolen.
Gonna turn back?
No. I want you to take a searching party. I give you 10 men.
Search for what?
If you're a hunter, you can follow tracks.
Sure I can, and you know what I'll find? Not your machine guns. 6 heads stuck up on poles. That's what they did it for, to warn us off. They could have wiped out the whole camp if they wanted. You better go home, Fernak.
We go on. Sergeant Labat. Yes, sir. Home the column as quickly as possible. We're moving on.
Should have gone back that first morning. You've got guts, though. You'll need them. We'll get there all right. They haven't hit a white man. Hammer's saving something special for us. Something special for me. You all right, Fernak?
Yes.
How many this time?
I don't know. Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Casualties?
Yes, sir.
That leaves 3 Bantus, you, Labat, and me. What's the matter? You ready to turn around now?
I want to get Hammer. If I do go back, it will only be to get 200 men.
Forget it. This is the last attack.
How do you know?
Are you kidding? Why should he be afraid of you now? He's left us 3 Bantus for porters. How do you expect to drag him back to Monono with an army like that? He'll let us in, all right. Let's get moving. There it is. Nothing changed since the last time. Clearing, stockade, house. There's the room. A night I can't forget.
Sam, don't go away unless you take me with you. I can't stand him. Sam, take me back. I want to be with you.
You should have thought of that before. You wanted Ben. You got him. I know what you're like now.
I'm afraid of him. Sam Kerrigan's scared. You're scared. You're scared.
You were right, Alice. I was afraid. I still am. Now I'm back.
My name is Benjamin Hammer. You are Inspector... yes. The message of the drums was unable to cope with the name. Mr. Kerrigan.
Hello, Ben.
I'm surprised to see you. I thought I made it clear at our last meeting that I should kill you if you returned.
You had your chance. Why didn't you?
I don't understand.
Skip it.
Benjamin Hammer, I have here a warrant for your arrest on a charge of embezzlement and murder, to which will be added responsibility for the death of 37 government soldiers.
Responsibility? Your responsibility, Inspector, not mine. You should have known better than to enter Bahutu country. Kerrigan knows how savage the natives are. Didn't he tell you? I suppose not. Mr. Kerrigan is a deceitful man. You mustn't trust him.
I don't.
Well, before you drag me off to my doom, I should imagine that a bath and a cooling drink would be in order. Come along. You too, Sergeant. I want you to meet my wife. My men will take care of your Bantus.
Little fat man. You're not afraid of him. Are you crazy? How are you going to do it? How do you arrest a king? Hot bath, cool drink, supper. And then any hour, any day he wants it. Goodbye, Sergeant Labat. Goodbye, Inspector Governmental Fernak. Goodbye, Kerrigan. Alice, waiting like a wife at the door. Alice, I've made you smile. Warm, red. I know those arms. I know you, Alice. Soft, dark, gardenias. Frightened? Who are you looking at? You're looking at me.
My dear, I should like you to meet Inspector Fernak. He's come to arrest me.
How do you do?
Madame?
And Sergeant...
Labat.
Labat.
Sergeant?
Mr. Kerrigan, you know, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Now run along and prepare food for our guests.
Yes, sir.
Inspector, I have prepared a room for you and the sergeant at the end of the corridor. Kerrigan, I don't imagine you'll mind going back into your old room, filled with memories, huh? Show them the way, will you?
I don't mind.
When you've had your baths and feel up to it, we'll take supper on the veranda.
Why did you say you'd never been here before?
What does it matter?
You knew he was wanted, didn't you?
No. To me, he was a guy who paid well for trade goods and told me to keep my mouth shut about his setup. I did because it was good business.
How long have you known him?
5 years. 6. Haven't been here for over a year, though.
Why did he speak of killing you if you returned?
That's none of your business.
I'll make it my business when we return to Manono.
Yeah, you do that, Fernac, when we get back. Go to bed, Kerrigan. What for? She calls him Sir. Sir. He treated her like one of the Bahutu's servants. Doesn't eat at the table. Slave? When did that happen? A year ago, after he found out about us. Sure. Wonder if she's with him now. Have a drink.
What's the use?
Where are you? Where are you? Wish I hadn't done that. Alice? No. Little fat Fernac. Fernac.
No, don't touch me.
Alice.
No, you mustn't. I can't stand being touched. You don't know what it's been like with him since you left. Oh, why didn't you take me with you then?
You know why. He would have had his natives on us before we'd gone a mile. But why did he let me go?
Don't you know? So that he could do what he's done to me. So that I could think about you outside, alive, and want you. So that he could do these things that I can't tell. Look at me.
It would have been better for both of us if we tried to run away and he'd killed us.
It doesn't matter now.
Yes, it does. We'll try it. Come with me.
No, I couldn't go with you now.
There might be a chance. Does he know you're here?
I suppose so. He knows everything about me. He left you your guns, didn't he?
Yeah, he would. You know that.
I want you to give me yours.
I can't do that.
I've got to kill him. I've waited a year for the chance. It's made me want to live, to kill him. He's been so sure, so safe because he's so strong. But with a gun, I can kill him. I'll show him he's not a god. I'll show the natives he's not a god. Give me the gun.
No.
You loved me once. If you still do, do as I ask.
I still do. That's why I want to take you away.
You're afraid. You're still afraid. Give me the gun. I've got to.
Alice. No. Alice.
No. Don't touch me. I can't stand you. Filthy. Dirty.
Hold it. No, don't touch it. Another night, though, yes. Gardenias. Waiting a year. Waiting. Not for Sam. Not for Sam. Waiting for a gun. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go! Alice, I've got to think. There may be a way. I'll talk to Fernac. We'll figure out something. Maybe tomorrow.
He'll kill you all tomorrow.
Alice!
How does she know we die tomorrow?
Leave me alone.
I want to talk to you.
Get out of here, Fernac. Leave me alone.
What did she tell you?
Nothing.
You're lying.
Get out!
What did she tell you? Why did he leave us with our guns? Why have we still got our guns?
Because that's the way he is. So we shoot him. How do you want to die after? It won't be easy like being shot. I've seen what the Bahutus can do to you. And he knows I've seen it.
I do not want to die, Mr. Kerrigan, but the Belgian government has seen fit to name me as its representative. If I am unable to arrest Hammer and take him back for trial, I shall have to shoot him here.
You wouldn't have a chance. You've seen his guards of honor. He's their god, the immortal king, Ben Hammer. That's how he rules them. They think he can't be hurt, and he can't.
Mr. Kerrigan, knowing this about him, why did you come back?
Don't you remember you blackmailed me into it?
I don't believe that. It was the wife, wasn't it?
Yeah. The wife. I guess I would have come back someday anyhow.
It's strange, Mr. Kerrigan. We seem to have parallel missions. Mine to take him out, yours to take her.
Yeah. Too bad, isn't it?
more coffee, Inspector?
No, thank you.
Sergeant?
No. I don't want any more.
Well, then breakfast is finished.
Mr. Hammer, I think the time has now come to start back for Manolo.
You know, I rather admire you. You must realize your position here, and yet with stubborn zeal you persist with this farce. And please, don't touch your gun. It's all right, Egale. I don't want to see you killed that way. I have other plans.
Then I have nothing to lose.
As you wish, Inspector. Draw your gun. That's better. It is difficult to set in motion your own execution, isn't it? Mr. Kerrigan knows that. Come, we'll go out on the veranda. I want to show you something. These natives you see are the chieftains of my kingdom. I called them together to witness my decree. Hear me, wise Bahutus. These two white men in uniform have been sent to dethrone me by a government that thinks itself stronger than I, your king. Igali, seize them. Stop it, you. My reply to this insolence is to return them to the country in humiliation, bound and across the back of an ox.
What about me, Ben? I have something to say about this.
You, Kerrigan? Oh, yes, you have a gun. No, let him, Egale, let him. I know Mr. Kerrigan.
Do you, Ben? Are you sure? Tell your men to release the inspector and the sergeant.
And if I don't?
I'll give you 30 seconds, and if you don't, I'll shoot you.
You'd like to kill me because of her, wouldn't you? But it wouldn't do you any good now. She wanted to do that. Go ahead. Shoot. Shall I tell you what they'll do to you then? They'll stake you naked to the ground and smear honey over you. Then the ants will come. First one, then two, then more. Your hand shaking, Kerrigan. And when the ants are nearly finished, you'll be screaming then. They'll take sharp little sticks and they'll...
You, Egale. Let them go. Don't look at me, look at them.
They aren't doing anything. Just watching.
King. King. You stand up. Him not stand up. Him not dead. Say he cannot die. No man kill him. He tell us when he come here. He show us. He drink poison from our arrows.
He was no god, Egale. He was no king. He's dead. Go look at him.
He no god. He no king. He's dead.
Sit with me. We have good time.
Oh, hello, Sam. For yourself. You've come back.
Yeah.
I didn't forget your song. You've come back so soon. I play you another you like.
Okay.
You're afraid. You're still afraid. Give me the gun. I've got to. I've got to.
Alice, did you try anyway without a gun? You knew he was stronger than you. You were lying there broken. I touched you.
Don't touch me. I can't stand you.
Or did Hammer kill you because you came to see me? But it wasn't me, was it? It was the gun you wanted. A year ago. You should have killed him then.
Why didn't you take me with you then? Why didn't you take me with you then?
You like the song, Sam?
Sure. Fine.
Can I bring you something?
Yeah. A bottle. I'm going to get drunk if you don't mind.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have brought you The Power of Hammer by Gil Dowd and Anthony Ellis, with Harry Bartell starred as Sam. Featured in the cast were Edgar Barrier, Vivi Janis, and Stan Waxman, with Ann Morrison, Jack Crucian, Lou Krugman, and Don Diamond. The special music for Escape was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to the year 100,008 and a world where beauty and terror live side by side, as H.G. Wells described it in his immortal story, The Time Machine.
Now that color television is definitely coming, should you buy a television set? What about your present TV set? Frank Stanton, president of the Columbia Broadcasting System, gives you answers to these and other vital questions about color television today at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss this informative talk about color television over most of these same CBS stations. Now, stay tuned for Make Believe Town, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you laugh at Jack Benny every Sunday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure and the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are investigating a space factory revolving in an orbit around the planet Venus. Suddenly, they find themselves locked in a freight-handling chamber floating in the middle of the room.
They've cut the artificial gravity field. We're completely weightless. How are we going to get down to the floor? Oh, my head. Smoke and rockets, Commander. We were pulled up to the ceiling. There's the floor down there below us. They reversed the gravity field. The pull in this room is toward the ceiling.
Well, now how are we going to get down to the floor?
We'll get down to it all right, the hard way, I'm afraid. They'll reverse the gravity field from floor to ceiling till they break every bone in our bodies.
We'll return in just a moment with today's Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Hi, gang. Space Patroller Dick Tufeld reporting to you from the Terra Airport. Just got back from a trip to Venus, and boy, do I need supercharging. Well, I'll just have myself a Space Patrol breakfast with one of the super cereals, Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're bite-sized, you know, and so easy to eat and so different and delicious, the Commander made them official cereals of the Space Patrol. Try them yourself, gang, and don't wait. Not for a swell treat like Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Try them today. And say, gang, here's something important. We are swamped with orders for space binoculars. We have plenty of them, but we just can't mail them out fast enough. So if you're waiting for space binoculars, please be patient. We'll soon be caught up. Well, I got to go get supercharged right now. See you later, gang. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Swinging in wide orbits around the planet Venus are two gigantic constructions, popularly known as space factories. Power is obtained from the sun by use of solar energy reflectors. These privately owned factories are inspected at regular intervals by Space Patrol personnel to see that United Planets regulations are observed. Right now, in the control section office of one of the factories, Space Patrol Inspector Curtis is talking to Vincent Trowbridge, owner of the plant.
I've completed the inspection, Mr. Trowbridge. Find anything wrong, Inspector Curtis? No, nothing serious. The heat insulation on the mercury vapor conduits needs replacing. You aren't going to enter that on a report, are you? No, I should. But I'll overlook it this time if you promise to have it repaired by the time of my next official visit here. Of course. You just play ball with me, Curtis, and I'll play ball with you. Fine. Oh, Mr. Trowbridge. Yes, Curtis. About the investment you're handling for me, is everything all right? Well, it doesn't look good right now. But can I get my 10,000 credits back? Perhaps in a few months. A few months? Well, Mr. Corbett, you said last month we could expect a quick profit. Yes, I also said there were certain risks involved. You remember that, don't you? But all our other investments, they turned out all right. They were for small amounts, 100 credits or so. I was counting on that money. You put me in a terrible spot. I didn't put you on the spot, Curtis. You insisted I take your money. It was your money, wasn't it? Well, of course it was, except for a few hundred I borrowed. But it has to be paid back right away. Well, I'm afraid there is nothing I can do. Look, you've got to help me. If the Space Patrol finds out I've been having business dealings with one of the firms I inspect, I'll lose my job. Well, you didn't worry much about that when you were winning. Well, it was foolish, I admit it. But I was relying on your business judgment. This gets out. I'm finished. Perhaps I should have realized you weren't in a position to risk so much money. Tell you what. Suppose I return those 10,000 credits to you. Will you, Mr. Trowbridge? Now, understand, Curtis, I only do this out of the goodness of my heart. This is just a loan, you understand. It's my money you're getting. Your 10,000 is still invested with another firm, and I can't touch it. I'll pay you back every credit when the other deal begins to pay off. Yeah. Oh, in the meantime, you're in a position to do me a favor. What do you have in mind? Well, you also inspect the other space factory, don't you? Dan Larkin's plant? Oh, yes, sir. What's his record? Excellent. Why? Perhaps you've been somewhat lax in your inspection. Somewhat indulgent, shall we say. Oh, no. I'm always very careful. Yes. And there is always room for improvement, Curtis. From now on, you can even be more careful when you check on Larkin. When are you due there again? 2 days from now. I'll just make sure you examine his entire factory thoroughly. I'm sure you'll be able to find that Larkin is guilty of several irregularities. You aren't asking me to turn in a false report. Would you rather a true one be turned in on you? All right, Mr. Corbett. Oh, this may ease your conscience a little. I have a couple of men working at Larkin's factory. You wouldn't have to use your imagination too much in this.
Manicore's office, Cadet Happy here. Yes, sir. All right, Major, I'll tell him.
What is it, Happy?
Well, it's Major Robertson, Commander. He says Inspector Curtis is due back at Venus City headquarters tomorrow. He's been on sick leave.
Hap, remind me to spaceophone Curtis in the morning regarding the space factory report.
Yes, sir.
I can't understand what's happened to Stan Larkin's operation.
Who is this Larkin, sir?
He owns one of the 2 space factories circling Venus. The last 2 inspection reports have been pretty bad. Till 3 weeks ago, Larkin's plant had a very high rating.
What's the trouble, sir?
Curtis listed 6 counts of defective safety equipment, including the main airlock. When he returned for another checkup 2 weeks later, 3 of the previous citations hadn't been corrected.
What about the Trowbridge station?
Oh, that's excellent. You know, it looks to me as though Larkin's trying to cut corners.
It's not a very smart move with a new government contract still sitting on the Secretary General's desk.
It's not a smart move in any case, I think. Any negligence in one of those space factories could cost the life of every man in the plant. First, I'll see what Curtis has to say about the situation. Then I may pay Larkin a visit.
Curtis at Venus City calling Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2. Curtis calling Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2.
Trowbridge here. Go ahead, Curtis.
I just thought I ought to let you know. Corey's going to blast off for a visit to Larkin's factory.
Is he coming here, too?
He didn't mention it in our space phone conversation. We better be prepared just in case he does.
I am always prepared. Did he question your report on Larkin?
No, not yet. But I'm worried. I don't want to get into this any deep.
Now, look, Curtis, stop worrying. Just take it easy.
All right, but I won't make any more false reports.
We'll talk about it later. When is Corey due at Larkin?
About 900 hours, universal start time tomorrow.
All right, Curtis. Trowbridge out. Can my men do to convince Corey?
You could start decelerating now, Happy. We're nearly on the factory's orbit.
It certainly doesn't look very solid to me. Like a bunch of wheels strung together with wires.
Well, it would never do on a planet, of course, but out here in space with no gravity pull, it's strong enough.
Where do we join airlock, sir?
At the end of that tube projecting from the circular structure. We'll make our approach from the other side.
It looks like we've got a clear approach on this vector, sir.
Right. Let's contact Larkin and tell him we're coming in for inspection.
Commander Corey, I've been in the manufacturing business for 20 years. This is the first time I've been accused of mismanagement.
All you're being accused of right now, Mr. Larkin, is failure to correct certain faulty equipment after receiving a citation from our inspector.
Well, I tell you, I ordered it corrected.
Did you check to see if the orders were carried out?
Well, frankly, no, I didn't. In the past, I've never found it necessary to check up on my employees.
Mr. Larkin, our inspectors have a regular procedure to follow. Did you say that in the past Curtis has ignored defective equipment?
I don't know whether Curtis has ignored defective equipment or not, but I haven't.
And what about those last two reports? What about the complaints of impurities in your product?
Commander, would you like to inspect this factory right now?
I certainly would. But you haven't answered my question.
Maybe we'll both know the answers after inspection. I manufacture plastics, not excuses.
All right, Larkin. I'll call my cadet and we'll inspect. I'll say this for you, Larkin. Overall, your factory is run very efficiently.
We haven't finished the tour yet, Commander. With these accusations against me, I think it only fair that you make a complete inspection.
All right. What's next?
Well, you've seen the crew's living quarters, the power control station, and the process control room. As I recall your inspector's last report, there was a defective airlock in number 2 loading chamber.
That's right. Has it been repaired?
I ordered it repaired. Come with me. You can see for yourselves. Oh, here, wait. You'd better both put on heavy coats if you're going in there.
Why, is it cold in there?
About 5 degrees below zero centigrade. The coats are here in the locker. Here's one for you, Commander.
Thank you.
Here you are, Cadet.
Thanks, Mr. Larkin. Oh, why is the loading chamber so cold?
This chamber is where we keep the hexaplast sheets. They move directly into the hold of the cargo ship, which is also at 5 degrees below zero.
Hexaplast? What's that?
It's a light but very strong plastic, Happy. It's called the material with a memory.
A memory?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me, Commander, the intercom. Larkin, chamber 2. Yes? Can it wait? But I'm... Oh, all right. I'll be right back. Commander, I've got to go back to the central control room. 2 of my technicians seem to have misinterpreted my instructions on the process routine. Why don't you examine loading chamber 2, and I'll join you in a minute.
Of course, go ahead.
Thanks, Commander.
Now, let's go in, Happy. We'd better secure the door to hold the temperature down.
Well, it's not as cold in here as I expected it to be.
It's a dry cold, low humidity. These coats are pretty heavy.
Well, there sure isn't much room to move around with all these bales stacked in here.
Now, there's the airlock at the other end of the chamber. Let's check the indicator and see if there's any leakage.
Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, Commander, what did you mean when you said hexaplast was a material with a memory?
Well, it can be molded into a certain shape at a fairly high temperature. And when it's cold, the way it is now, it flattens out.
Uh-huh.
When the temperature rises, it springs back into its original form. It's as though its molecules remembered what shape it takes.
What was that?
No. Sounds as though something snapped.
Oh, look, up there. The top bale came undone. Somebody did a sloppy job of packing it. Oh, there goes another one. Hey, look, it's moving. The cargo's shifting.
You've got to get out of here, Happy.
Hey, Commander, what's happening?
The hexaplast, expanding to its original shape. Open the door, hurry.
It's locked, sir.
We've got to get out of here in a hurry. If we don't, the hexaplast will press us against the wall.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
This is Captain Dick Tufeld reporting the morning news direct from Terra City. First, the headlines. Commander Corey offers projectoscope to boys and girls on Earth. Space Patrol mail bags jammed with orders. The commander interrupts all communication lanes to warn projectoscope is offered for limited time only. Those are the headlines, now the details. Today, Buzz Corey is again offering all boys and girls a chance to send for the new 6-inch pocket projectoscope. This streamlined blue and yellow plastic model in the shape of the commander's rocket ship has been designed to do 3 important things. 1, to flash on and off so rapidly it can be used as a signal light. 2, to throw a steady beam of light so it can also be used as a flashlight. 3, to throw pictures on the wall by means of a special strip of film. Response from Earth has been terrific. Orders have been pouring in without let-up, but supplies are still big and work is on schedule. When a letter is received, a projectoscope is mailed at once, but Commander Corey warned in a special bulletin that the projectoscope could be offered for a limited time only. So, gang, send for your projectoscope today. Just buy a box of rice checks or wheat checks. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a rice checks or wheat checks box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to today's adventure, the Venus Space Factory. Vincent Trowbridge, owner of a space factory revolving around Venus, has forced the Space Patrol inspector to turn in false reports against Stan Larkin, owner of a competing space factory. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy went to the Larkin plant to investigate. While in loading chamber number 2 of the space factory, the 2 space patrolmen find themselves in danger of being crushed by a rapidly expanding plastic known as hexaplasm as the temperature rises in the chamber.
Stand back, Happy. Let me try that door. Yes, sir. Somebody must have locked it after we got in here. You suppose it was Larkin? Hey, look out! Huh? Wow, its red and yellow side have been smashed between those 2 blocks of hexaplasm.
It's going to keep expanding till it fills every inch of this chamber.
That's as hard as rock.
Yes, after it reaches its original shape.
Commander, could it break through the hull of the chamber?
By the time it does, it won't matter to us. Hey, wait. You give me an idea. There's a bale that hasn't broken open yet. Help me drag it to the door.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's move fast, Happy.
This bale feels soft.
Yeah. Now let's wedge it between the stack of hexaplasm and the door. A little tighter.
Commander, I can feel it expanding.
Stand back. When those metal packing strips burst, they'll lash out like whips.
There it goes.
It's swelling up. Let's hope that door is the weakest part of the chamber.
Hey, it works, sir. The door's open.
Let's get out of here quickly.
Hey, Commander, it's colder out here in the passage than it was in the chamber.
Let's get to the control room. I want to hear Larkin's explanation of this. Now, here's the control room, huh? Larkin. Now, here's the control room, huh? Larkin. Now, here's the control room, huh?
Commander, you're safe.
You know what happened in the loading chamber?
Yes. Did you secure the outer door of the passage?
Yes, I did. Now, maybe you'll tell me who locked the refrigeration door.
Locked it? It wasn't locked.
Oh, no. We had to use expanding hexaplasm to break it open.
You were in there with that round plastic?
Where did you think we were, Larkin?
I don't know. I settled the argument between the 2 technicians, then I came back here and checked the instruments. I could see the temperature was rising in the loading chamber.
And what made it rise?
The thermostat must have been defective. It's all right now. Even if the hexaplasm bursts the chamber hull, we won't lose any air in the other sections of the factory.
But I'd still like to know what made the temperature rise and the door lock
closed. Why?
Safety. One incompetent or vicious man in this space factory could destroy the lives of everyone aboard it. I'm going to order a ship to be sent here from Venus to remove every one of your staff to Venus City so we can have a complete investigation. I'll assign a space patrol ship that cruise alongside this factory in its orbit around Venus to protect your interests.
Very well, Commander. I'll order a complete shutdown.
All right, Larkin. Come on, Happy. We'll get to our ship and spaceophone Venus City. Then we'll head for Terra and organize.
Curtis calling Trowbridge aboard Space Factory number 2. Curtis calling Vincent Trowbridge at Space Factory number 2.
Trowbridge here. Go ahead, Curtis.
Are there any cargo ships loading or unloading at the factory?
I'll do till tomorrow. Bye.
I'm coming there to talk to you.
What am I?
I'll tell you when I get there.
Now, isn't that rather stupid? You aren't due to inspect for another 10 days.
I'm nearly there. Have the airlocks ready.
Why can't you tell me what you want over the spacephone or pull down the scramble circuit?
I've got to talk to you. In person.
All right, come ahead. But if you are in trouble, don't expect me.
Commander, shouldn't we be on the Terra Vector?
I've changed course, Happy. We're heading for the other space factory on the opposite side of Venus.
Why? Something wrong at the Trowbridge plant?
Well, so far it's not as serious as what went on at Larkin. I've been getting some interesting information from Major Robertson, though. Trowbridge has been putting out some defective plastics, too, worse than Larkin.
Was it in the inspector's report, sir?
No. The Bureau of Standards discovered it. Could have been detected by our inspector at the factory. Yet he's consistently given Trowbridge a high efficiency rating.
Does the same man check both factories?
Yes, George Curtis. Well, maybe he needs a vacation.
Yeah, he seemed to be right on his toes when he checked Larkin's plant.
Venus City Space Control was supposed to notify me when they located Curtis. He's off duty for 18 hours, so he must be somewhere in the city.
Oh, there's another collection of wheels in the viewscope, sir. We're getting close to the Trowbridge factory.
All right, Curtis. Tell me what was important enough to bring you here to the factory at this time.
I found out what your men tried to do to Corey with the hexaplast. You might have killed him.
Will that have put Larkin in a hot spot? If it is, this will probably finish him.
But you don't know the rest of it. Corey had the whole crew, including Larkin, flown to Venus City for an investigation. I'll be called in to testify.
So what? That close call, Corey will convince him that Larkin isn't fit to operate the factory. You just calm down. Go back to Venus City and be there when he calls you.
But Trowbridge, don't you realize? Corey will probably give Larkin and his crew a brainograph test and find out about your spies. I haven't thought of that. Corey will find out you're behind this whole scheme and find out about me.
Well, I'm glad you just went there, Curtis. You can find me to Venus before Corey organizes his investigation. We'll have to eliminate those spies of mine before they are given the brainograph test.
I won't have any part of it.
All you have to do is keep your mouth shut. Being a space patrol inspector, you won't be asked to take a brainograph test, not if you play calm.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Venus Space Factory number 2. Corey aboard Terra 5, calling Space Factory number 2.
Keep your mouth shut, Curtis. Let me do the talking. Venus Space Factory number 2. Commander Corey. Trowbridge here.
Trowbridge, I want to talk to you on official business.
Of course, Commander.
We'll be ready to join airlock with the factory in about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Yes.
Come ahead, Commander.
Thanks, Mr. Trowbridge. Corey out.
You recognize my ship. Why didn't you stall him till I could get away?
It's too late now. He'd see you anyway. Don't worry. Just do as I say and we'll both be all right. Just get back in that living compartment and lock the door. I'll handle Corey.
What are you going to do?
Just leave that to me. Go on, get him.
Go on, Happy.
Yes, sir. Well, Commander Corey, this is rather a surprise.
Hello, Mr. Trowbridge. I recognize our inspector's ship at number 2 airlock. Is he in here?
Yes, he's inspecting the factory.
It's my impression that he was here 4 days ago.
Oh, you mean you didn't know he was coming here today? I'm afraid Inspector Curtis is a very thorough young man. I've been getting quite a going-over from him.
Yeah?
Well, I'll let him tell you. He's probably in the handling room now. This way, please. On second thought, maybe I'd better tell you myself. Frankly, I tried to deceive Curtis on his last trip here. And I thought I succeeded.
Deceive him?
How? Some defective insulation.
What about it?
Well, I could tell that Curtis wasn't feeling very well. I thought I'd put it over. But he wouldn't notice. Well, I found out differently. He's going over the entire plant with a vengeance.
After I see Curtis, there are a couple of other matters I want to discuss with you, Mr. Corbett.
Certainly. I'll find Curtis right in here, Commander. The handling room. Just go right in.
Hey! On your feet, Happy. Get through that door after him.
Oh. Commander, we can't touch the floor. What happened?
We're floating. Trowbridge cut off the artificial gravity in here.
You're going right toward the ceiling.
Now, take it easy. When you reach the ceiling, push yourself gently toward the floor.
Yes, sir.
Gently now. You might bounce back up again. When your feet touch, Make your way carefully toward the door. Remember, we're completely weightless. I can reach the ceiling now. Here it goes. That's it. We're going down. Just a couple of seconds. This is the strangest feeling. Easy now. Your feet are almost touching the floor. Oh, my head. Smoke and rockets, Commander. We were pulled up to the ceiling. There's the floor down there below us. Trowbridge reversed the gravity field. The pull in this room is toward the ceiling. How are we going to get down to the floor? The hard way, I'm afraid. Trowbridge can keep reversing the gravity field from floor to ceiling till he batters us unconscious. Look, sir. Everything that wasn't bolted to the floor is up on the ceiling all around us. Crates and tools, everything. Now you see why Trowbridge called this the handling room. You can handle any object by adjusting the gravity field, no matter how heavy. Yeah, including us. Wow, feel that. I'm pressing harder than ever against the ceiling. Trowbridge is increasing the gravity field. What's he going to do? Knock us out by giving us extra G's? I doubt that he has that much power. But strong enough so that I can't stand up on the ceiling. If he reverses it at this strength, we'll break every bone in our bodies when we hit the floor. Oh, this is awful. Just waiting for him to smash us down. Happy, look down there on the wall. See that switch box? Yes, sir. It's right by the outer loading hatch. Maybe a gravity control emergency switch. We can just turn that lever to the off position. But we can't reach it, sir. Not even if we could stand up. No, but there are a lot of objects around us up here on the ceiling. Small things we could throw. We can hit that switch before Trowbridge reverses the gravity. There's a small crowbar. It's even hard to crawl with all this high gravity. There. Now take careful aim, Happy. Remember, be ready to duck. That bar's going to fall back up to the ceiling. That's right. I'm glad you reminded me. Well, here goes. Oh, watch out. It's falling back. I didn't throw it nearly hard enough. I'll try it with this wrench. If you hit it, we'll have quite a drop to the floor. If I hit it, we'll stay here in the ceiling till we push ourselves down. Now, cross your fingers. Hey, you hit it, sir. We're weightless again. All right, Happy. Easy now. Press against the ceiling with your legs. Push yourself down toward the door. Okay, careful now. Let's go. Come on, Sergeant. Quick. Get into the ship.
What to do with Pork? He's floating around in the handling room, up near the ceiling.
What?
Well, just as I was about to reverse the gravity pole and smash him to the floor, the field cut out. I guess I overloaded the coils. Come on, we got to get out of here. Hurry, get to your ship.
All right, Corbett, stay right where you are.
Hurry!
Commander, I didn't know you were here.
Curtis, you had the right hunch in coming back here, but evidently you didn't know just how far Trowbridge really would go.
No, Commander. Yeah, that's right, Curtis. I might even take the brainograph then.
Happy, take Trowbridge into custody.
No, you don't. Get your hands up, Cadet.
Curtis.
Go on, you too, Corey.
Hey, what is this? Curtis, are you out of your mind?
Good work, Curtis. Now, Corey, we'll get him, Happy.
All right, you two, on your feet. I've got their weapons, sir.
Commander, Trowbridge forced me to help him. He bribed two of Larkin's guards to heat up the hexaplasm chamber. I didn't have a thing to do with it. Curtis, keep your mouth shut.
You might as well let him talk, Trowbridge. We've got enough on you right now.
Commander, I'll tell you everything. Honestly, I will. I only did what I did so I wouldn't lose my inspector's job.
Curtis, you have a peculiar idea of an inspector's duties.
Yeah, don't worry, Curtis. You'll still be an inspector. You can inspect the inside of a criminal rehabilitation center.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Gang, everybody's talking about the projectoscope, and no wonder. It's terrific. Now, here's a boy who's been talking about his projectoscope since the moment he got it. That was on Saturday morning.
Junior, look. I got my projectoscope. Man, it's really neat. Look at that. It's shaped like a real outer space rocket ship with tail fins and a radar antenna.
Sunday night, and he's still going strong.
Hey, Dad, turn out the light. Here now. I'm going to show you some pictures on the wall with my projectoscope. That's Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy you see there. You know, real Space Patrol adventure. It's called Mighty Meteor. And there's 3 other adventures on the same film.
And so it went with his friends on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Look at Joe. Look at this projectoscope. Flash signals in the dark. See how fast I can blink it on and off?
Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday again. And this boy is still talking about his projectoscope.
Don't cry, sis. I'll find that nickel you dropped here in the dark. See, I got my projectoscope in my pocket. And it's a swell flashlight, too. See that beam of light? Hey, here's your nickel, sis. Good old projectoscope.
Gang, get yourself one of these wonderful projectoscopes. We have enough for all of you, and we'll send you one the day we get your order. Just buy a box of rice checks or wheat checks. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a rice checks or wheat checks box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Write that down. Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have joined airlocks with a spaceship in which two criminals are holding Carol captive. Although the criminals have meekly surrendered over the spaceophone, Buzz is still wary. Happy is going to open the airlock. Have your rig down there.
Yes, sir. We've got us, Commander, with our hands up. Look, I'll turn on the light so you can see better. Happy, the lights.
They're blinding, Commander. I can't see.
Let them have it, Rambo. They can't see. They're helpless.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Cosmic Ray Detector, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Special bulletin for boys and girls in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Washington, D.C. Buzz Corey's own space battle cruiser, the Ralston Rocket, will be in your area next week. Don't miss it. The Ralston Rocket. Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Baylor Cobot, Norman Jolly, and David Duval. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice